Zabeth, what's happening, bud?
Yo, how we doing, Joe? Shout out CapMMA.com, baby.
I appreciate you. Man, how's your week going? How was your weekend of betting? Zabeth, what's
I think I did pretty good this weekend. I kind of forget, but I've been good so far. Just chilling. Had a good day yesterday betting, so we're doing good. How about you?
Real busy weekend, man. You know, I got 5 kids, so that shit always, yeah, whatever. Always busy. This weekend was especially busy, but I was happy to get the card off, and yeah, I was happy to see the card, is what I should say. As busy as I was happy I was able to watch the entire card. So, not bad. It was a pretty boring card, which is kind of what I thought it would be. But whatever. There was, Bobby Knuckles at the end came through like a fucking savage, but I don't know. It wasn't the greatest card in my opinion, but I didn't expect it to, so I guess I shouldn't say I was disappointed or anything, because that would be a fucking fetch. Trace, pick fights. What's happening, bud?
How's it going, brother? Sorry, running a little behind. I got the little girl. She's a little cranky, fighting to sleep today. So you might hear a little bit in the background if I do. If y'all do, I apologize. But y'all know how it is.
Ain't no big deal, bro. I wasn't real communicative in the group chat or in the team chat today. I just busy as shit, but I got everything ready to go. Man, we'll just get right to it. What y'all think of the fence grab?
Honestly, it changes the fight, but I'm shout out for getting my money though.
Yeah. So I got to admit, I don't remember who said it. I don't know. It wasn't me who said it. Someone at some point fucking said it, either on broadcast or post fight show. That's at least give them position. The point argument, I'm not going to argue with, because it really is fight changing to stop that position, but I'm not going to push for that either. But when you use defense to clearly stop a takedown, the referee should be able to stop and set it, put you on the ground. I think that's how that should go down. And I think that's something they need to address. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's recency bias. I feel like we see more cage grabbing than we've ever seen, like almost like it's fucking trained now. Like I don't ever remember ever seeing cage grabbing to the extent that we see it now. Even before.
You're gonna get off. You're gonna get off 2 or 3 solid cage pulls before they're ever gonna take a point. So why not? I mean, it's there to be gamed. It's a rule that's easily gamed.
Oh yeah, fingers out, same thing. Fucking eye pokes are not by mistake. They're not intentional, but just because they're not intentional doesn't mean that they're by mistake. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, you're fucking teaching your fighters to do that. I believe it, because you get 2 warnings. You could take a guy's halfway out of his fucking head. The referee will be like, "This is your last warning." What? You just ended the fight. The dude can't see. Doctors had to come in. They almost stopped it. You're like, "This is your final warning." I just think shit is fucking ridiculous, to be honest. I like the idea of referees being more involved, and if the referees could get onto a good system, the judges would be less of a factor, in my opinion. Not take them out, but less of a factor. You would reduce the factor of going to the judge and the way the judge sees it. If the judge sees a referee correcting a fighter throughout the fight, even if that's not a part of the criteria, that judge is going to start registering like, this guy's fucking cheating the whole fight. The success that he's finding, he's cheating whenever he can. I don't know. I just feel like it could change some shit. Bobby Knuckles knocked that motherfucker to the ground, huh?
Hey, shout out Trace real fast on that, because I remember he said it early, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot on it, because like I was leaning Ikram earlier, but shout out Trace, man. Good pick.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I didn't understand it there. I still don't understand what people were saying there. Like, yeah, I get it. What Whitaker was on a bit of a downhill slide, but it was against elite talent, the top champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really. I need a little bit more than that, and a lot more from Ikram before I jump on a hype train. And we see it more often nowadays than you see a successful one. You see all these hype jobs. I mean, Sage Northcutt, Paige Van Zant. For every Conor McGregor, there's 25 other ones that fizzled out before that. So like, you're better off fading them, especially when there's a jump up in competition, especially when it's a main event spot. Five rounds makes a huge difference. Although we didn't need it this weekend.
Yeah, and to tail off of what you're saying and agree with you, lightning in a bottle is definitely what the UFC is chasing. So they want to get these guys and they want to rocket them to the top and they want them to come in and hit the rankings and go, what Chimaev was supposed to do. So if they see an opportunity to do that, short notice gives them the perfect bed for that because they can be like, look, guys, we had no choice. Fuck your rankings. We had no choice. This was short notice. People were pulling out of cards and we had to do it. And I think you'll see the UFC take the shot there more times than not when that's the situation. Lopes Ortega, I feel like that's a similar situation. Maybe not quite as short notice, but similar. All right, so I only got 30 minutes, 35 if we roll the max for headlines. So I'm going to get right to it. There was a massacre, mass shooting, whatever you want to call it, in Dagestan by a militant terrorist group. And one of those fighters is linked directly to Eagle MMA. And it was announced that all Dagestan gyms will be, I'll use this word, properly investigated for links to extremist terrorist groups. Um, I don't, I'm going to, I've been screaming forever that the agenda for the fighters in Dagestan is far bigger, whether they like it or not. I don't know. There's not enough folded out to know who all was involved where. Just because they trained the guy at the gym doesn't mean that they were involved. But in a couple of other coincidences, Islam Makhachev recently posted a video on his Instagram with music playing in the background that supports extremist values. They are affiliated with Ali Abdelaziz, who is affiliated with every horrible fucking person on earth. I don't know. I'll be very curious to see if anything comes out of this. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something that we'll be talking about a lot in the coming future. While I was looking that up, I also found some footage of Zabit beating the shit out of Islam. I'll get that shit posted in the group. Zabit whooped Islam's motherfucking ass. After that, we have the Sphere in Las Vegas is apparently at a $98.4 million loss right now. I think that number just sounds cool to say when you look at the fact that Dana White is $16 million into a single production. I got to think it's not going to be that hard for them to get their money back on $98 million bucks. So I don't think it's a total loss, but using that as a scapegoat, or not a scapegoat, but using that as the anchor, the media is hammering MSG Network executive chairman and billionaire owner of the Sphere, James Dolan. He is reportedly in serious talks to put a second Sphere in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the type of place that would pay for the production cost for events like UFC Noche just to get the events there. I don't know, real news, like world news that will affect us. Korean Zombie launched his own promotion. Dana White gave him congratulations and is putting it on Fight Pass. I can't say that I'm super excited to tune in to Z Fight Nights. Whatever. I know they're trying to expand their Asian footprint as much as they can. And then here's where this one will end. Dana White doubled down, saying that Francis Ngannou was scared to fight Jon Jones. I don't know if scared is the word. We've talked about this. It was heavy risk for him for his value. But where I'm going with this is, I guess, opinions here. Is Francis Ngannou pimping the PFL? We've implied it before. Now, there was some stuff posted in the team chat on some other podcasts talking about it. If I could remember who they were, I would shout them out, man. We take in a lot of content, you know. But they gave him a board seat. They gave him a piece of the African promotion over there. They promised him all the money he demanded. They promised his opponents all the money he demanded for his opponents. He got health care and didn't get it for any of the other fighters, and so on and so forth. I think Francis Ngannou is pimping the PFL. And now their guy, Rena, however you say his name, he's talking about he's sitting around waiting on Francis to sign a contract so that he can have a fight. I don't think old boy should hold his breath. Francis is not coming to fight you.
To my head.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. What I was gonna say is like, Jon Jones was a heavy risk for him, and his value was at an all-time high. So he wanted to capitalize on that value while he still had it. And I think PFL just came with the best offer. I don't think UFC was willing to give him what he wanted. So he went somewhere that was willing to give him what he wanted. But yeah, I think, and look, honestly, what Dana says, I understand he trashes both fighters, but in that sense, he did make a point in that with that if Cyril Gane didn't go for that submission, Francis loses that fight. That's the only way he was able to get on top and control the rest of that round that was already 2-2 going into the fifth. So yeah, he almost lost the fight. Since he went away with his title, he won. His value was at an all-time high, and he capitalized on it by getting the most money possible and being able to go box at the same time. So that's all he did. He just wanted to get the money. And yeah, Jon Jones is a risky fight. That dude, he ran through Cyril Gane. I wouldn't have any problem thinking he'd probably do the same to Francis.
Yeah, it was a Francis didn't want to bet on himself thing. So we've broke this down. We've talked about it in depth. And in a nutshell, if you look at what the UFC offered Francis and what he would have cleaned up on the Surreal fight, because they were offering it to him, everybody's like, oh, he fought Surreal for 600 grand, right? But they were offering him $10 million. It would have been an $8 million minimum bag to fight Surreal. He would have then got the Jon Jones fight, which would have made him at least 12 or $15 million. And then if he beat Jon in the rematch, he would have demanded that same money. So in 3 fights, he would have made $30 million. And if you look at his 2 boxing matches he just had and the fight that he's supposed to have in the PFL, he'll make $32 million. But if Jon Jones beats you in your next fight, you don't have pay-per-view. You're only getting your $5 or $6 million guarantee. Like you're getting no pay-per-view points, and your hype is fizzled out. They're not going to push you. They're not going to run you back up the ladder to Jon Jones. They're just going to let you be beat by Jon. Usman, get after it.
Was just gonna say that the podcast that was talking about it was Morning Combat, and Brian Campbell was posing all those questions about how is PFL getting screwed over now because Francis Ngannou has come out and said that he is entering training camp for a boxing match. As for the whole negotiations and contract stuff, I think. Dana has said it multiple times. There's multiple ways to say no to a fight. There's multiple ways to turn down a contract. And I think what we saw there was him pricing himself out and asking for a bunch of ridiculous things that PFL was just willing to make up and give to him because we've seen multiple times where if he did have a board seat, if he did care about fighters' rights or pays or whatever, he could have flexed some of that power, that imaginary power that PFL had given him for like the what was it called, Schulte and those two homeboys that didn't get their spot in the playoffs because they fought each other boring because they're friends. Just and I think there's a couple of other points as well, but I believe it was pricing himself out of the UFC contract.
Yeah, that and negotiating out. When he got over to PFL, he demanded the UFC give everybody health care and all this other crazy shit. He didn't ask any of that from the PFL. And he took less money. He just had the ability to go box. He bet it all on him being able to box and rake in $20 million 5 times or something. I'm not mad at him. All right, we're at 18 after. I really try to get to it by 30 after. Brian Ortega hinted, drop, spoils. Delia Topuria versus Max Holloway likely being at the top of 306. It is a fight that has to happen. And I guess I understand because I did a thing for 5 weeks in a row. Every week, Ilya, he's a huge star. But I'm not excited to see that fight. Are any of you excited to see that fight?
Lopez versus Ortega.
No, Ortega. No. Ortega leaked Holloway versus Topuria. Are you are you excited to see that? Because I know it's a fight that has to happen. I'm just not. I don't care.
Damn if they give me Max Holloway at good dog money, baby. Come on.
I mean, I am, but I want him to dispatch of Volkanovski first. I just want him to have that rematch, get rid of him, get rid of Max, then have his toughest fight, which is going to be Movsar Evloev. That's the fight.
If I'm being honest, I think he beats Volkanovski 5 out of 5 times. I think Volkanovski beats Max 5 out of 5 times, and I think Max probably beats Ilya 5 out of 5 times.
What?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening, bro.
What does Ilya have for
Not with
Max?
support the striking and the grappling.
Nah, bro, don't tell me he's gonna outstrike Max. Like, if you want
He,
to tell me he's
bro,
gonna hold his own, that's fine. But don't tell me he's gonna outstrike Max with what, a leg kick? Them leg kicks,
dude. But there's
nobody has ever
difference
got
between
anywhere.
volume and being able to move and pick your shots. Volume doesn't always win the striking battle. And even then, let's just say he does outstrike Ilya Taporia. Taporia can take him down. No matter how exhausted he is, he can grapple. And he proved that against what's his name? I forgot. He got tired like at the third round, but he was still grappling like a motherfucker.
Right.
He
And I know Ilya can grapple, but Mike, who was the last dude you seen take Max down and control him?
who tried?
Everybody.
All them.
Everyone has tried to take Max down, and he has stuffed everybody. You actually almost can't find a fight where they didn't shoot a takedown on Max.
I need a
Did
translator.
Allen?
A translator for Connor
I,
J
I,
there because I'm getting a barrage of different emotions, and I don't know where we're going with this. I get thumbs up, thumbs down, laughing faces, 100s.
don't don't worry. I speak fluent Connor J. What
Yeah, I
he's
keep up with
saying,
it.
what he's saying is that Max can beat Ilya, and Ilya can't take down what's his name, Max. That's basically what's going on.
Oh, Connor talking that shit, boy. Connor know what he's talking about. Talk your shit, Connor.
He also
Nah,
thumbs down me when I said that Ilya beats Volkanovski 5 out of 5 times. He didn't agree with that. It's good.
which is dumb. Which is dumb. I just
Uh,
want to remind y'all that I was the first one up in this bitch saying Ilya easily dispatches a Volk, but Max is a way, way, way tougher fight against Ilya than Volk is. He's gonna run
Well, I
through
was there
Volk.
with you.
Max is going to be a way harder fight, and I think the issue is man, like Volk had smart striking, but he was there to get hit for one. I always had the idea that he was Chenny. Yes, Max is there to be hit as well, but it's just one of those things where I think, and it's kind of stupid to say this because of how the fights have played out. I think Max is the better fighter. I think he makes better in-fight adjustments. he just could not beat Volk. And hey, sometimes the dude has your number. But I still stay on that side whenever I'm talking about them two fighting.
It was the
Two,
striking entries. It's Volk's striking entries. Like whenever he uses a lot of feints, and that's what was confusing Max. But it didn't really it doesn't affect Taporia because Taporia doesn't really bite on feints. And whenever he enters into the striking range, that's when you can counter him. But it wasn't working with Max because he was already biting on the feints, so it set up his strikes.
it sounds like we have a board bet for about 4 months, Mike.
Sounds like we
Yo,
do,
I'm
man.
taking Topuria too, though. Hey, count me for him.
So you can get it too, brother. What's up?
All right, all right. We got 7 minutes, and then we're gonna get to this card. Paige Van Zant is gonna slap fight. Man, y'all don't want to hear this, and I'm gonna get some laughy faces. Paige Van Zant is gonna go down as a pioneer in women's combat, and you can laugh all you want if you want, but she was
The one that
on
started
the
fans.
Bro, she was on the original docket of stars from the UFC, female UFC stars. She is one of the original stars. She came in a little late, but not way late. Not way late at all. And she did have some star power. She went over to BKFC, made a bag. She's boxed, made a bag. She is now going to slap fight. And it's one of them things where she might not be the greatest at all of them, but one day somebody's going to look back at women's combat sports and they're going to look at the early days of everything. And Paige Van Zant's name is going to be everywhere. You're not going to not see her. You're not just in 50 years when someone's doing combat sports history, they're going to look up all shit women's combat. And around this time, Paige Van Zant's name will be in every book. And she will be at events and everything. So
She'll be 7 years still having that OnlyFans, boy.
She sounds like a town bicycle to me.
hey, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I found out Paige Van Zant makes 60 grand a month on OnlyFans. Psh,
Yeah,
fucking do it.
those all those Paige Van Zant truthers fruition coming to truth, man. They finally got what they waited for all this time.
Yo,
All
who
right.
got the leaks in here?
We got about 6 minutes and then we're 5 minutes and we're gonna pop into the card.
Please.
Ilya Tuli died. I believe he was the first guy to walk for the UFC altogether. I think he took the first. Can't go to UFC events no more.
Oiler girl did it better.
She was trying to duplicate that shit. Kamaru Usman is criticizing the trend of leaking sparring footage. I agree with him. Brian Ortega is set to donate 100 G's to a church after a life-changing man camp retreat. DP will join the analyst desk with Fitzpatrick and Chael Sonnen for 303. Ryan Garcia is getting very serious about the Sean O'Malley fight. He's willing to fight him in the UFC. He's willing to fight him MMA. He's willing to fight him BKFC. Call it a gimmick fight all you want. If Dana White doesn't make that fight, he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. Ryan Garcia fighting Sean O'Malley in MMA is a top 10 UFC pay-per-view of all times. Easy. Easy. You can put all that other bullshit aside, easy. And it is a justified fight because Ryan Garcia is one of the most elite boxers on earth. Yeah, and they're a fool if they don't make it. Better times, Mike.
You really think he's gonna pay Ryan Garcia?
Oh yeah, I think he'll co-promote one with Ryan Garcia. And to be honest with you, I think Ryan would do it for a lot cheaper than people think. Ryan's got a lot of money. Ryan's got a lot of money. Not like, oh yeah, he's got some stacks. Ryan's got a couple $100 million. Ryan does not need money. I think he would do it for 10 million bucks. Maybe 8 million plus some points. I think he would want pay-per-view points, and I think that's where he would make his bag. And I think he would negotiate higher because UFC fighters historically have made $1 to $2 per pay-per-view, and there's rumors that Conor has made somewhere between $2.50 and $4 a pay-per-view, which would be fucking insane. But I think Ryan Garcia could get that. I think he could easily get $5 a pay-per-view out of the UFC. I think they could even up the price $5 and still sell it. Trace.
Yeah, so just a little change of subject, but it's a bit of a fight announcement, but I mostly have a question behind it. So I don't know if y'all seen, but I seen Ben the Bane Davis is fighting Karate Combat against some other guy. I don't know who he is. But my question is, like, what is Karate Combat's angle on this shit? Like, now you're trying to build yourself as a legitimate sport in striking because most karate is not the most serious or isn't the most serious mixed martial art of the ones. I mean, we've seen some mixed success, but it's not mostly. Karate. Nobody talks about wanting to see karate fights for the most part. So what are they doing with this by bringing Ben Davis in there? I don't understand what's the move here. Like all you're doing to me is like delegitimizing yourself by doing that. You're making kind of a joke of yourself by letting this guy do a personality fight for your organization.
Dead picks.
I mean, or the way that I see it, weren't they going like the influencer route? Because even BKFC like did the influencer route at one point. Like they hired like some fucking TikToker guy, to have a fight because he did some sort of like celebrity boxing or some shit. That it was like YouTuber streamer boxing, whatever the fuck. He loses that fight, goes on to BKFC, and then fucking wins. So the way I see it, like, why wouldn't Karate Combat, want, Ben? You know what I mean? I fucking hate the guy. I don't like the guy. I think he's fucking annoying. And people, that enjoy his content, I question. But yeah, Ben, man, like he does pull numbers though. People like the guy for some fucking reason, and so why wouldn't Karate Combat want that shit? I mean, they were into the crypto shit. They're into like all these like, old vets like fucking Lyoto, fucking Luke Rockhold, GSP. The way I see it, man, is just like another like niche route that they're trying to go, just trying to draw eyes. Like I couldn't see anything more than them just trying to milk out views.
Those guys have names. Those are, I mean, Luke Rockhold, debatable, but those are legends of MMA. You know who those are. Ben Davis, if you don't follow MMA Twitter, you don't really fucking know who he is. Like, I didn't know who he was before. Yeah, it don't make sense to me. Mike, what you got?
Yeah, I think that's just like just for attention, pure and simple. I liked what they were doing in the early days when it was just like you would actually see karate fighters just trying to fight each other in that sort of rule set. But now I kind of don't like what they're doing because it seems like they're just grabbing old MMA fighters and just putting them in there under this rule set. And it's not, now you don't really just see karate in there. There's barely any. So I don't know what they're doing now. I liked it back in the old days. I think they should have separated themselves instead of trying to get attached to like MMA combat.
Well, that said, Cube is like 3 or 4-0 over there, so he's fucking them up over there. So good for him. Pad that record, get back in the UFC. Usman.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Mike was saying, it annoys me that they've got fucking just straight on BJJ grappling matches in the middle of it. And I guess like they're just trying to get as much eyes as possible, and if they can get some UFC names in there, that's gonna give them eyes. If they can get some UFC names to fucking roll around on the floor with the damn ramp walls, I guess it's gonna get them some eyes. So, I mean, I don't really care. I watch the highlights. It's not like they think putting Ben Davis on there is going to get them some more eyes, or at least some like MMA Twitter eyes. It's not going to work for me. I'm just going to watch the highlights and hopefully get to see him knocked out.
So I think you guys are reading it wrong. I think Ben Davis has earned his way to Karate Combat. The dude's been fighting, sparring. I don't. Is he fighting an elite guy? Am I misunderstanding that? Like Karate Combat would be a great place to get a first pro fight, or a second or third pro fight.
Oh, that's definitely, bro. He's fighting like another YouTuber or some shit.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Sorry, I was My daughter came out and was talking to me while you guys were going about that. That is crappy to know that Karate Combat is doing that. But I would say that Ben has been fighting for a while, so like I don't know. I know he recently got pieced the fuck up by Sean Strickland. Did you guys see that? He went hard rounds with Strickland, got his ass whooped, and wasn't.
We should
No,
get we should get Connor J on Karate Combat. Take on Ben.
Why don't we switch over to the card here? That's probably it for this. Dead Picks, are you ready? Are we gonna go live on YouTube?
Oh no, yeah, we've been live. We've been live since the first few
Oh,
words.
gotcha. All right. Okay, so let's kick it off. UFC 303. I like just kind of shouting the odds out. Were you guys okay with that last week?
Of course, I think it's detrimental.
No, I mean better than doing the whole tail of the tape. I don't really care for the whole tail of the tape thing, so I don't want to. Just because I don't care for it, doesn't. I don't want to rule it out on everybody. I just prefer the odds. I think it's a little fucking easier, to be honest.
It's whatever, man. I think for these pay-per-views, I think maybe it might be more intriguing.
Man, oh man.
Say the full card breakdown the full card analysis, whatever, for the main card. Prelims, we don't need to do the full tape.
Let's do it that way.
Agreed.
Vinicius Oliveira versus Ricky Simón. We got these boys over at Cap MMA on 25 different books, as deep as 25 days old. News stories reporting on both of them over there. Ricky is an average of minus 238. Vinicius is plus 189. I'm on Ricky here. I don't even see a problem betting it. I don't feel a need to run back and do tape. I don't have any of those type of urges. For me, this is a pretty easy take Ricky. Probably looking at the over. I'm not 100% confident on that yet, but probably looking at the over here, and that's my play. Oh shit, Trace bounced out. There he is. He's back. Let's see. Probably couldn't hear me. Let's get him back in here and send this co-host invite. Mike, who do you got in this fight, bud?
I actually have Ricky by decision. Now I am actually staying away from this because Vinicius Oliveira is a really good fighter. Especially he has the defensive grappling to keep this standing, and he has the striking to knock Ricky out. My only problem is that he is kind of cocky, and I don't like that. He That's how he lost his belt in UAE Warriors. He got knocked out just for being careless, and he still fights like that now. He's just a real showman fighter, and which can be fun. But whenever you're fighting a guy like Ricky, who has the striking to compete with him and the grappling strength to control him, like I can't back that. So I already know, like, as far as grappling goes, it's gonna be Ricky all day. He's gonna ride him to a decision. If he plays a little bit too much on the feet, even though he can compete, he will fuck around and get knocked out. But it's Ricky all day by decision.
Very nice. Trace.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to that. Honestly, I pretty much agree with everything you said. Uh, Rifle favorite minus 200, whatever it is. Debut fighter against a guy that in his contender series fight before he landed the big knee knockout was getting out wrestled by a lesser wrestler. So yeah, I think Ricky Simón, the over Ricky Simón decision. Yeah, don't ever do it. Just go with the easy. Make it simple for yourself. Over decision.
Very nice. Very nice. Usman.
So at this very moment, I just finished a split strat for one. This is saying it's going over with a goes to split at plus 400. Goes the distance. Our highest hitting criteria is at plus 120, so that doesn't give us the complete go ahead to hit the over. The reason why I think the goes the distance is going to be at a plus money is because I agree with everybody. Ricky Simone could get it to the floor. I think it likely goes to the decision if Ricky is having his way. But for some reason, deep in my loins, It's telling me I'm on Vinicius Oliveira. I can 100% see him get grappled for 2 rounds straight, get held down, and in that third round he comes out like a bat out of hell, and he gets the knockout right before we hit the over. And we know Ricky Simón has had some chin issues in the past. If we're looking at who the UFC is trying to push here, it's not like they're giving Ricky an extremely easy fight for him to get a bounce back.
Did
Um,
Usman cut out for everybody else?
He's still going. Let him cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still rambling.
yeah, it's not like they're giving him a completely easy fight for him to
Oh
just get a
shit! Do you
bounce
guys
back.
hear me?
Yep.
Joe, quit talking.
uh, just to cut it short, Oliveira looked great in his debut in the UFC, and it was one of those where he put on a crazy ass knockout. They probably are looking for him to make a big statement again, and it's gonna look good if he gets it done over Ricky Simón.
Yeah, he chose Oliveira. He thinks that Oliveira can get the upset knockout late in the fight. He's done with his analysis, though. If you want to go ahead and jump to the next fight there, Joe, unless you want to add onto that to your own analysis.
No. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. You just can't hear Usman. Usman might need to drop back out and come back
Nope,
in.
I can hear him now. So the Comcast shit is all fucked up around here right now. So it keeps going in and out. So I just had to jump over to cellular service, but it seems to have let me switched over. So good enough for now. Zabet.
Can you hear me? Mic test 1 2 1 2.
Oh
Yeah, you're
yeah,
good,
loud
Zah.
and clear.
I agree with a lot what Better Times had to say. I kind of lean Oliveira in this, but the only issue I'm staying away from is his takedown defense is not so good, and that's obviously an advantage for Simón or Simeon.
I call it Ricky Simone. Am I saying that shit wrong? Do I not got it
It's
right?
No,
Simone.
it's
It's
Simone. You got it
Simone.
right.
All right. Next fight up is Sura versus Carlos Hernandez. Sura is coming off of a run through road to the UFC. And then he is fighting. He is a minus 500 over 29 books, 22 days. Carlos is plus 358. My honest feelings about a fight like this are the UFC is sincerely trying to feed the Asian market, and this fight is proof of that. And you can't bet against it. Even if you think you see an edge, you better see a real edge to say, "Oh, I'm going to shoot the dog here." The UFC is trying to shoot the Asian market to the top of the rankings. They are not going to have him get beat up by Carlos Hernandez, in my opinion. Trace.
Yeah, I'm steering clear of this fight. I do think that the Asian sensation should probably win this fight, but for me, I don't really care what they do over in Asia. You need to come over to the US, to the UFC, to prove that you can do the traveling and do all that and show up on fight day. It seems like for forever we heard about these Asian fighters that were supposed to be the next big thing, and then they refuse to leave their country and make the travel easy on themselves. So you're constantly getting these guys that are jet lagged and fighting, traveling for days to get to the events because they stay over in Asia instead. And I really do think it makes a difference. But with that being said, I do think this is a fight for Carlos Hernandez to lose. I don't think they're setting him up like whoever it was that was saying that. So yeah, but at minus 400, whatever he is now, it's like there's no point in playing. I wouldn't even add him to parlays just because minus 400 for a debutant is pretty fucking crazy. So yeah, I think he should win. I will be playing with him on DraftKings. Like he's one of my top options along with Ricky Simón actually for the options up top for my favorite DraftKings players. But as far as money lines, I have him in one parlay, a little lower number. But other than that, I'm staying pretty clear with him. But I think he probably gets a submission here. The what's his name, Tsuruya? Yeah, I think he's probably very live for a late submission. Mike.
Yeah. I'm on Tsuruya too. I've always look. I'm always telling y'all, watch out for these new wrestlers that are from Japan. their grappling is fucking top level. But Carlos Hernandez is he's one of those fighters I like to compare to like Christian Rodriguez. I don't know if I've said it in this space, but like their striking stance and their ability to use that to their advantage when it comes to offensive striking, defensive striking, and their defensive grappling. It is not to be overlooked. Carlos Hernandez is a really good defensive grappler. Even though the fight didn't last long, he did show it against who's that dude that just beat Alex Perez? Tatsuro Taira. He showed that he's hard to take down. But Tsuruya is another animal, man. He knows how to just do it for like 15 minutes, even when he's exhausted. And he's one of those. I like his mount. If you ever seen his mount, like once he gets on top of you, he body locks you and you can't escape the mount. This is gonna be one of those I would say clear because of the price, but the over is what I'm looking at. Over 2.5 is plus 150. That's the way to make money off this fight.
I ain't mad at that at all. Usman.
And now you are speaking my language. I was pretty surprised to see that the split strat has this nowhere near going over with goes to split being plus 600, goes the distance being plus 175. But and I get it. Just even looking at Ray's record, there's only one decision. All of them are going to be in the finish. So I was trying to look at props to hunt here, and for one, if you're looking to play Ray and you really want to, I mean Ray by points is plus 225. Thinking that that the level jump from road to UFC to Carlos Hernandez here in the UFC is might be a little too much. The over 1.5 or over 2.5 is looking good too at plus 150. If you can get 1.5, I think that's an easy bet. And then a lot of I think all of Hernandez's losses, amateur and pro, besides one where he did lose a decision, have been first and second round. So you could even hit those Ray Tsuruya round one and round two props at plus 225 and plus where the fuck did it go? Plus 475. So yeah, that's what I got. I like the over.
Very nice. I see no hands. So that takes us to Martin Buday and Andrei Arlovski. Um, I'm just gonna be the guy that goes ahead and says it. Well, here, let me do this. Arlovski, 32 books, 25 days. Arlovski is 209 on average. Buday minus 270 on average. Man, I don't know what Arlovski by decision looks like, but I'm gonna know by the time this fight goes off. That is my play. I'll defend it if I need to. Um, Usman got his hand up right away. Usman, kick this one off, then throw it over to Mike or Trace.
No, Arlovski by decision is my play, and I will defend it if I have to. Right now, it's sitting at plus 250. Just to go over the split strat. Uh, Goes to split plus 275, easily hits our criteria. Goes the distance minus 145, easily hits our criteria. And then over 2.5 at minus 165. I think that's just a beautiful parlay piece or a line that you can just hit straight. And as for the Arlovski thing, for one, I just like to ask, do y'all remember what Buday was in his last fight? What his line was? Anybody?
I try not to watch his fights if I'm being honest.
I believe it was like minus 300 or some shit, and everybody got burned against Gaziev. Um, yeah, no, Boudet's not good. Boudet is not good, and if all the numbers are telling you that this is going to go over and very likely to go to decision, you take the vet that's going to have the ability to strike from the outside. Yes, Arlovsky has been chinny, but it's against really fucking hard hitters. Boudet is going to try and hold him up against the fence. He's going to try to take him down. There is absolutely nothing that Boudet is going to do that Arlovsky hasn't seen tenfold. He's going to try and leg kick, jab from the outside. It's going to be a very sweaty fight. Take Arlovski by decision. And then let me see, decision method of victory. Arlovski by split decision, plus 700. Give me all that. Even Martin Buday by split decision, plus 600. Give me all that. 100%. Give me all that.
So for those that don't know, I work weekends now, so I work Saturdays, so I work most fight cards. It is fights like these that I am thankful for on the nights that I work till 10 p.m. because I know I have at least 30 minutes killed because this fight is going to a decision. This fight is a fucking over. If you want to try to, shoot fish in a barrel, you can try to figure out which one of these guys you want to go with. But I think the split's a good play. I think this fight most likely looks like Buday trying to hold Arlovski up against the fence, and Arlovski trying to sit at distance and try to jab him up, and throw those little kicks he likes to throw now. Uh, yeah, I think this is just a sloppy fight, and there's a good possibility that Arlovski can out physical the younger man just because he's in better shape. Although he is going to come in at a weight disadvantage, you would think Buday should be considerably larger man in this fight, being a true heavyweight. Uh, But yeah, man, I think I would probably just play the over, goes to decision, and probably split and call it a day, man. Because I think those all probably fucking hit. But if I have to pick a side, I'm probably going to go with Buday just because I think he probably gets more lean time than Arlovski does at range.
In the words of Dana White, despicable, disgusting. I hate you, Trace.
I'm not happy with
That's
myself.
illegal. Oh, sorry, wrong chat. My bad.
I'm not happy with myself. I'll be honest with you, Mike. What you got?
Yeah, I think y'all hit it. All right, I'm with y'all. Over split decision, but here's the thing. I'm on Boudet too because I see a way for both of them to win. And if Boudet fights like he did in the Contender Series, then he should win that fight. Only because look, Arlovski, as much as he has improved lately in this stage of his career to hang with these other heavyweights, these younger boys, now is when you see all that the age is really starting to hit him now. His movement isn't there. His head stays on the center line. So let's say Budai isn't able to hold him up against the fence. All he has to do is extend his combos, and he's gonna hit on Arlovski. But even without that, I think he is able to hold him up against the cage, and I believe he's going to be able to implement that kind of game plan because that's honestly what suits him best against Arlovski. Just hold him against the cage, use those knees, use those punches, and just burn out the clock. Buday by decision.
What is that? That split decision prop you're thinking about Buday at plus 600? Man, that's pretty fucking juicy. You could probably just play both sides of that and probably come out profitable.
Yep.
Yes, you probably could. That's probably the play right there, to be honest. All right. So next up, Gillian Roberts, Michelle Waterson. 31 books, 25 days. Headlines on both of them. Minus 189 on Gillian Robertson and plus 151 on Michelle Waterson. Yeah, I'm on Gillian Robertson all day here. Trace.
All right, all right. Sounds like I'm on an island. The books would indicate that I'm on an island, although there has been some buyback on Michelle Waterson. Yeah, man. I think Waterson is the clear side on this fight. Like, I don't understand the dog price on her. I'm glad for it. I'm happy for it. I got 3.5 units on it. And another one wrapped up in a parlay from the Volkov last week. But yeah, man. Karate Hottie has a 70% takedown defense against far superior wrestlers than Gillian Robertson. Gillian Robertson is at best an amateur on the feet when it comes to her striking, and that's with improvement, man. I'm no Gillian Robertson hater. Everybody that's in here knows I'm a Gillian Robertson fan. I root for her, but I also know when to fade her, and this is the fight to fade her in. because you have a fighter that has the better footwork, proven better takedown defense, and even if she gets on the ground, she does have some losses, like 4 losses I think by submission, but she also has some wins by submission. Like she's not lost on the ground, but the kicks, she's gonna kick Gillian Robertson and keep her at distance. And whenever Gillian starts getting desperate, going for the takedown, she is gonna get pieced up on the feet. Like this fight is not close on the feet, and Gillian doesn't have a big enough advantage on the ground to feel safe betting her at minus 200. Like, if this fight, like, if she's like a minus 130, minus 140, then yeah, I would say probably take a shot on Gillian Robertson. I think this fight's probably more like minus 140 Michelle Waterson in my point of view. I get it. She's like 2-6 in her last 8, but the people that she's lost to are far better than the people that Gillian Robertson has beaten, and way better than the people that she's lost to. So I know I'm gonna be on an island this bet, so I'm willing to make this a board bet with you, Mike. So I'm pretty sure I know you're on the other side actually. So this will be the board bet this week. Mike, tell them why I'm wrong.
Because man, she's a kicker. Plain and simple. Look, if this was Gillian Robertson, like say a few years ago, then I'd be on there with you because her striking was so bad back then. But she's done better. She's doing a little bit better with her pressure and her footwork. Now, with that, Michelle Waterson does how would I say? I understand that you said she has better takedown defense, but when she kicks, she is open to just be taken down. And Gillian Robertson, with the pressure that she puts on now and her improved striking, because it's not great, it's not close, but the forward pressure will help. All you got to do is move forward and catch those kicks and bum rush her. And I think if Gillian Robertson gets on top, which she will be able to do just catching kicks, that's not going to be close. And all she needs is one takedown to ground and pound TKO or just submit her. I don't think she has the submission defense to survive Gillian Robertson on top.
So just to counter argue you a little bit there, Mike. So I did too. I also thought that Gillian Robertson was getting better, and and I'm not saying she hasn't, because she definitely has. But the people that she's beaten, like Polyana Viana, is not even in the UFC anymore. Like she's checked out. Like that was one of the, like, I knew what side to be on that. Like she was, like, I think she was dog money on that fight. Like I knew that was Gillian Robinson all day. But like that is such a step down in what she's facing in Karate Hottie. So like, I get it. But I think we're gonna be surprised.
Can I ask Trace a question before Usman takes the mic? When did Karate Hottie get good though?
I
Oh
didn't
my
know.
god!
I didn't know she was bad. Like she was a hot prospect coming into the UFC because at atom weight, dude, she's fighting at a higher weight division than she should be at. She's an atom weight. She was an atom weight champion in Invicta. Like she's fought bigger
See, that's
girls her
another
entire
thing.
career.
Yeah, so
Jillian Robertson is coming down and she's stronger.
Yeah, so where I was going with it is that, to be honest, I think that most women in MMA, we see a strength. So that, like, women don't hit their peak strength seemingly until their late 30s. Maybe even close to 40 years old before we see their body hit that physical strength that it's never been able to achieve, and then they go downhill at fucking rapid speed. I get it. I don't feel like strength-wise or even conditioning-wise that Michelle Waterson is on her way up or has been on her way up.
So the issue is strength. You're talking about the strength. The strength matters in low level women's MMA, and then again at high, not in between. Technique. The technique on the feet is going to be so much far superior on the feet. It doesn't matter that Jillian's. If you can't get a hold of somebody, you can't take them down. This is going to be the best footwork Jillian's seen in the UFC. Outside of this was JJ Aldrich, who Aldrich beat her. The only people that have beaten Karate Hottie in MMA or in the UFC, excuse me, is people that were better strikers than her, or they could strike with her, or had striking or knockout power. Rose, a couple other people. The only other exception to that was Carla Esparza, and it was a split decision. Like, other than that, the people that have beaten her have been better strikers. She has always beaten the wrestlers. This fight lines up. Usman, we've been stomping all over your time, brother. Go ahead.
We have.
All good, man. I was gonna start off with saying like Trace is just like you. I call myself a pretty big Gillian Robertson fan, and I think the most important part of this fight is getting not getting a win over Waterson, but me getting a win over you, man, because I've been on her, I've been off of her, and I feel like the few times that we've been on opposite sides, you have been the Robertson whisperer, and I've always given you props for that. But I think now's your time, brother. Now's your time. I'm gonna be on Jillian Robertson, man. Am I saying that she's going to pull out a freaking Giovanni and J-check level striking? No, but I do feel like we've seen um, little flashes of her striking getting better. She's like Jillian Robertson is one of these fighters that I love because we've seen them grow up in the UFC. It's crazy that she's only 29 years old, now going to be fighting a 38-year-old Waterson. She's definitely going to have the advantage of the ground whenever it gets there, if it gets there. I personally don't think that there's a finish. That'll lead me to the strat. Goes to split plus 250, goes the distance minus 140. Over 2.5 is only at minus 165. I'll be hitting that over, and I'll probably be hitting Jillian Robertson by points as well.
Well, then you're gonna really not like this. So first off, let me say, if I am wrong, obviously I'm eating 4.5 units down the drain between the parlay and the straight up. But honestly, I wouldn't be upset, man. I like I said, I'm a Jillian Robertson fan. I would love to see her win. It'd be an awesome, like, kind of like a passing of the torch type thing. Is she, Karate Hottie is. I think this is karate trying to, this is probably get close to the end of her career, man. She's 38 years old, I think now. Uh, yeah, I mean, she only can do this for so long. But I think this is a fight that she can win, and I'm going to be even bold with it. I will be playing the whenever the props drop on FanDuel, the round 2, round 3 submission prop for Karate Hottie. I think we could even see a scenario where she tags her up on the feet and we start getting panic shots. Karate takes or I keep calling her Karate. Waterson takes the back and rear naked choke. I would not be surprised if that happens. So I am going to touch that the round 2 or 3. I wish Ozzy was in here, man. I don't know where he's at. He's usually pretty good about being here, but I would love to hear his take on this fight. But yeah, man, I'm gonna play some weird props on this fight, man. I think we see some crazy shit in this fight.
Joe, brother, Joe, this guy crazy, brother. Please take his mic. On to the next fight, brother. We don't need crazy talk from Trace no more.
I ain't mad at you on that one. He's off the rails right now. I think, man. Brian Garcia and Trace been hanging out. No, I'm just fucking with you, Trace. Up next is Yanis, Ghemmouri, and Payton Talbott. Man, this shit is fucking ridiculous. Minus 2,000 is the average. This fight has been on books for 46 days, 29 books. No reported fucking headlines at the major outlets about either one of them. Minus 2,000 on average for Talbot. Yanis is plus 209 or 905. The worst line you can get on Talbot is minus 5,000. The best line you can find on him is minus 1429 at Betson. And then the best line you can get on Giannis is plus 1,300. This is dog or pass for me. I'm not actually betting it if I'm being 100% honest. It's not something I'm playing. But if I was playing this just for money's sake, it would be a few pennies on the dog or pass. No money to be made. Mike went up first. Kick it off, bud.
Y'all say me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, look, man. Breaking down the tape, I actually have Talbot winning, but not by much, man. This is going to be a hard fight for him. Giannis Ghemmouri is a real, like, dude, this dude is good at kickboxing. and he knows how to use it in MMA. On top of that, he's got the grappling advantage. Peyton Talbott, like he's all flash. Everyone saw what he did to Cameron Simon, which I'm not gonna lie, I was super impressed by what he did. But he should not be this big of a favorite over this caliber of fighter, especially when he hasn't fought no one like this. So take a shot at the dog.
Yeah, I got a quarter unit on Ghemmouri just because it's just out of line, man. It's plus 870 is what I got him at. If it goes up to over 1,000, I'll throw a quarter unit on it, man. Yeah, Talbot should win this fight, but he's hittable, man. And if you are hittable, we talk about people having a good chin because they get hit. He has a good chin, but he gets fucking hit. You can only get hit by so long by the right person. Your lights go out. At some point, everybody's chin cracks, and he is like he doesn't move his head that much, man. He gets smashed, so he just out toughs the other guys. He walks them down, walks through it. He's a tough motherfucker. I'll give him that. But
In this fight, he's gonna take some kicks.
yes, I mean we're gonna see what this kid's made of. But like minus 280, minus 300, sure. Minus 2,200, dude. Come on, nobody's worth that ticket. Like Nunes obviously wasn't even worth that ticket whenever she was. I think she was minus 22. She got beat by Nunes or Pena. Better fighters have lost. Is all I'm saying. Take a shot
So
with dog.
this fight, so Bet Online is usually one of the first books to post shit. They're not always the first though. If you have access to low vig, you should follow them as closely as you do Bet Online. Anyways, when I bring up, I'm over at the on our site, and when I bring up the Peyton Talbot chart, which if anybody uses our site and you don't know how, you literally just click the odds and it brings you up a time chart of those odds. And if it sits at zero, flat zero, that means that line was not opened at that book yet. And then you see movement, and that's how you know when it started. So Bet Online didn't actually post this fight till 15 days ago, right? 14 days ago. Talbot open with them, or at least when we first seen him, it could have been hours after he was getting hammered before they reported him over. But by 10 days ago, he was at minus 667. What I want to know is 5 days ago, when he went to minus 1,000, and then 3 days ago at minus 1429. Who the fuck bet him to minus 1,800? Who? Who was like, yo, Peyton Talbot, minus 1429. Slam the parlay.
Bro, I'll tell you exactly what happened. People have been throwing Peyton Talbot in parlays for weeks. Like you've got people like tying in parlays from like UFC 300 to this motherfucker. Like as soon as this fight got announced, because Ghemmouri got I think he got knocked out in his last fight. People were just like, "Oh, this dude's a bum." Peyton Talbot's the truth. He walks through people. He beat up Cameron Simon. Blah blah blah. People are just blindly throwing him into parlays, even though it's pennies. Even if it is a penny now at this point, it's people are just blindly throwing it in. It's pennies to them, so it's more value. But it's crazy, man. You're gonna see a lot of people if he loses, you're gonna see a lot of mad people on Twitter calling him all kinds of names. Usman.
So I'm not even going to bring up the split strat because it's nowhere near telling us to go the over. But everybody's talking about the overcorrection on the price of Peyton Talbot here. And I don't think those are the numbers we're supposed to be paying attention to. For the Cameron Simon fight, the over was set at 2.5, and Cameron Simon showed that he's a tough kid. He can take a beating. And what's his name? Peyton Talbot put him out of there in 2 rounds. Didn't even hit the over 1.5. So what did the books do? They go ahead and try to overcorrect and give us the over 1.5. And at this moment, it is set at minus 135. I think if you're looking for a parlay piece, you put in the over 1.5, and then you take that straight. Personally, Ghemmouri, I'm not betting on anybody That's I don't care if it's plus 1,300 or whatever odds you are getting for him. I'm not betting on anybody that's going to lose to William Gomez. There are going to be some people that'll be like, "Oh, William Gomez is okay. He's good." I don't care. I don't like the dude. And yeah, you got knocked out or dropped with kicks to the body by William Gomez. I'm not even going to be putting sprinkles on you. But the one thing I would say was you were talking about Talbot getting hit and trusting his chin. One thing I really took away from the Cameron Simon fight is the eyes of this kid. And when you see the punch coming, it doesn't matter if you get hit. It's the old Anderson Silva. He saw everything coming. He let it hit him right on the chin, and it didn't affect him at all. Payton Talbot's eyes in that Cameron Simon fight were out of this world ridiculous. He saw every single little punch, every angle. He saw the openings and landed his own punches when he saw everything. Like the kid, that was the people will talk about his striking. To me, the biggest thing that came out of that fight was how good he is with seeing the fight play out in front of him. Nobody expected him to beat Cameron Simon like that. Give me the over 1.5. I'm not gonna be surprised if the kid goes and blows through Yanis Ghemmouri or however the hell you say his name. But I'll be on over.
You said the over 1.5 minus 130.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually. I think it's a good play.
Mike, take it home.
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna mention that the one over 1.5, kill that, man. Just dump it all. It was at a plus 120 something earlier. Let me see what I got it at. Let me see real quick. Okay, my shit's taking too long to load. Never mind. All right, but yeah, I got it at at plus money. It's still minus 130. Do that, but hey, Usman, you're tripping. Gomez is good, man.
I didn't say he's not good. I just said I don't like the dude.
Man,
Therefore, if you're losing to him, you bum, you scrubby.
Hey, well, actually, he didn't call off that fight. That was the ref. He was saying that he got hit in the nuts, which I mean, it was a close shot. I typically don't agree. It looked like it was a hip, but that was the ref call. He didn't really get finished. Oh, and another thing, you were right, dude. That was a good point. Peyton's eyes in that fight against Simon were on point, and that is the main reason why I still, even though I say take a shot on the dog, I still have Peyton winning that fight.
Oh yeah, let's be clear. I don't think Talbot isn't the side at all. I just think that when he opened 34 days ago at FanDuel at minus 500, nobody should have bet him. That's what I think. I think everybody should have went, let's leave that stupid shit alone. Instead, he's fucking minus 2,000, minus 1,800. I think it was over at FanDuel. I don't want to click back over. Anyway, up next, Charles Jourdain, Gene Silva. These boys are over on the odds board too. I haven't been calling out the fucking over-unders, man. Our board has them. All I got to do is click the button. My bad, guys. Jourdain, this is coming in 31 books, 25 days. On average, we got minus 123 on Jourdain. We have minus 101 on Silva. The over is set at 2.5 at minus 150. That's probably the bet here, in my opinion. I don't favor either fighter to be the positive winner here. If I had to favor, I'm going to favor Charles Jourdain based on experience. But I'm probably playing the over in a parlay here. And that's probably all I'm doing. Trace.
Yeah, man, I'm on Gene Silva here at dog money. I got him at I think it's pretty much even plus 100 was what I think when I got him at. Yeah, for one, you know, Charles Jourdain, while he is a very fun guy to watch fight, he's also Canadian, and we all know we fake Canadians in this bitch. And also, Gene Silva's fighting out of the fight nerds, man. He's fighting over there with Kaio and all that. So you know they're gonna have a fucking wicked game plan coming in here. He's probably gonna crack for a little bit and then take him down. Probably take him down and try to submit him. Jourdain's had problems with submissions in the past. Yeah, man, I think this is going to be a fun fight to watch. I don't have anything heavy on it. Like I said, I think I have either I have him in a parlay. I don't even think I have him playing him straight up, but I do have him in a parlay. I'm not gonna play too much on this fight. I just want to sit back and enjoy it, man. I think this is gonna be fireworks for as long as it lasts. Uh, I don't hate the decision prop. I don't know. Like, my biggest problem is I don't know how this fight's gonna go. Like I see the path there for Gene, and it's just whether they go through the game plan and whether he can get down and hold him down. We'll see. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a good measuring stick for Gene Silva for sure. Mike, what you got?
Yeah, look, that fight camp is a big thing for me because you watch every single one of them fight. You can tell like they really do game plan for their opponent, and they, for the most part, they stick to it. Gene Silva, oh man, he really cost me money on that Contender Series fight. Look, man, that fight against Gene Matsumoto, that dude's good, man, and he just beat him for like 2 rounds. Just that fight could have been called off almost. But look, Gene Silva, the pressure, the power, and just the way he picks his shots, whether he's leading the dance or bringing the attack out of his opponents and going off them. That's a that is yeah, I don't even know how I have the word for it, but when, especially when he hurts his opponents, that's a big thing too. When he hurts his opponents and he knows they're hurt. He's one of the few fighters that really know how to go for the kill without being too careless. And with Charles Jourdain, the one thing that I wanted to say this to Max in the space earlier, even though, yeah, you can kind of tell like Jourdain, if you let him get the volume off, he will go off on you. But when Jourdain is pressured and he's met with power, he tries not to panic, but you can see the panic in his face. And it's hard not to go with the power that Silva has in this fight. So I got Silva at plus 100. I believe that's the play here.
Usman.
Yeah, it feels like every time somebody brings up these fight nerds, everybody wants to say that they suck and they suck. They're not good fighters. Yet that game plan always comes in and works the fight in their direction. I said on Sunday the he's gonna come out and he's gonna wear those stupid corny glasses and he's gonna get a win. Charles Jourdain. It feels like every week I'm bringing up this name, Gerald Meerschaert, GM3. Charles Jourdain, look at his record. He's the GM3 of featherweight. Who is he getting wins over? Andre Ewell. Was Chrome Gracie supposed to be pushed and get some shine off of beating him? Sure, but also Chrome Gracie can't strike for shit. He went out there and he got a name. That's another big win for him. He goes out there and gets wins against low level dudes so that he can give the push to somebody that they really want to push. I think plus money on Gene Silva was. Was just a gift. I think Mike hit it on the head. It's going to be the pressure. He's not going to give Charles Jourdain to breathe, room to breathe. And if he gets the takedowns, we've seen Charles Jourdain sit on his back a little bit and try to hunt for a sub when it's not there. I don't think he's going to get Gene Silva in a sub. I think it's Gene Silva. You're going to take the dude who barks at dog price. Give me the dog all day.
I just want to piggyback off of what he said. Yeah, what he's been said about Charles Jourdain. Jourdain made me believe Marcelo Rojas was going to be a real fucking problem in the UFC. Like he struck him up so like he was. If memory serves, he was piecing up Jourdain so bad that he turned him into a submission guy. Like he took Rojas down and ended up submitting him, I think. But like then Marcelo goes on to get like just destroyed in the UFC and booted out. But like he made a guy that wasn't even UFC level look like a legit guy. And I just think Gene Silva, like even if Gene Silva's not the greatest talent, that camp, like Mike was saying, it just makes a world of difference, man. If you got guys that are getting behind you and making sure you're well planned for, like you can beat the lower level of the UFC, lower level of guys in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's Gene Silva, and at dog money, how can you not take a shot?
Hey, that fight actually made me a fan of Jourdain. When it was like the third round, and he's like, "I am a champion. I will finish him, and then he goes and finishes him. That was dope.
Yeah, that was dude. Don't get me wrong. That fight was a great scrap, but like it gave me such high hopes for Marcelo Rojas, and then he just like face planted in the UFC. Usman.
Yeah, lastly, I didn't talk about the over-unders, and you know that's what I got to do. Goes to split plus 300, tells us go over. Goes to the distance minus 125, tells us to hit the over. And the over is set at 2.5 at minus 150. That's another great parlay piece, probably something that'll be going on my parlay. And if everybody is going to talk about how Jourdain is really good, he's underrated, and what's his name, Gene Silva, is not good, then that just makes a perfect little mixture for it going over 2.5.
Joe, what you got next for us, brother?
Um, it's weird that I can't bring my personal account into this space. It says it's unavailable. It fucking irritates my soul for whatever reason. Because then I use that account on the computer to put shit up on to like post it up top and shit. Whatever. I guess it doesn't fucking matter. Anyways, next fight on the card should be Andrei Fili and Cub Swanson. Swanson, 32 books, 25 days, averaging minus 250 for Fili, plus 196 for Cub Swanson. The over is over under 2.5. You're getting minus 120 to go over and minus 110 to go under. I'm taking Cub Swanson by knockout. Yep. Trace.
Would you say uh Cub Swanson or not Cub Swanson, but the other guy, whatever his fucking name is. Yeah, Philly is. What is his line?
Minus 250 on average, bro. He goes
Yeah, man. This is this is a Cub Swanson fight. This is the typical. He comes in, he's undervalued. Oh, he's out the gate. He's over the hill. He's not good anymore. Then he comes back out and he styles on somebody. This is a Cub Swanson fight. Like when has Andre? Dude, by the way, Andre Philly, one of the best nicknames in MMA. Like Touchy Philly. I've always loved that name. It's such a funny nickname, but it's a good one. It's only him. There's no other Touchy Feely. But like, dude, he's fun to watch, but he's not a killer. This is a fight that more than likely goes to a decision, or Cub catches him more often than he catches Cub. So yeah, this is a over. This is a Cub Swanson. Whatever you want to throw on a Cub Swanson fight. But yeah, minus 260 at touch Andre Philly. That doesn't make any sense. Like he's never been 260 against anybody. Mike.
Yeah, I'm on Philly, but I think the line should be a lot closer. You're right. He shouldn't be a minus 250 over Cub Swanson. Swanson striking, even though I don't really like it now, it is still the style that he can touch Philly on, because the one thing you can always do is just go over his jab. And he never really addressed that in any of his fights. And he's been knocked out twice because of it. So even though I think it's the wrestling, in my opinion, I think as long as he misses in the wrestling, he'll be able to get it done. But I think since he hasn't really led with that game plan, I think you should be able to take a shot on the dog on this fight.
Yeah, I'm not saying going out there and take a big shot on. Like if you're not comfortable, don't take the shot. I'm just saying if you're gonna play a money line, play Cubs. Don't play that. Like play the props, play the decision prop for whatever side you think wins is probably the best way to go. I think this fight goes to decision more often than not. Play the over. I'm sure Usman can touch on the over a little bit better than I can. I'm sure he has those numbers, but yeah, play the overs, play the decision prop on this fight, guys.
Um, I will say this, that if you look at their recent fights, I know weird things are, they don't really matter, but Andre Fili is due for a win and Cub Swanson is due for a loss. If you look at their last fight, win, loss, win, loss, win, he should lose his next fight, Cub Swanson. Loss, win, loss, win, loss should win his next fight, Andre Fili. I'm just having fun. It's just a funny thing to see. Like, oh, well, I guess it's due. Usman.
Yeah, kind of stealing my shine there because I was gonna say like Kelvin Gastelum last week. Just look at their losses. To me, Andre Fili's losses look really good too with Nathaniel Wood and Danny Gay. But you look at Clip Swanson, especially in this weight class, because I know Jonathan Martinez was at 135 and he's back at 145. These losses don't look bad. So bet on the vet right there. As for the over, goes to split plus 300, hit the over. Goes to distance plus 105. I know we want to see a minus number on the goes to distance to give us that full green light. I will go ahead and be editing the split strat like I usually do on Saturday or Friday so that we can get a more accurate dialed in number on what it's telling us to do. But at plus 105 too. 100% hit the over, especially when it's barely sitting at minus 120. Another gift from the books right there.
I will be definitely telling you on your over props this week, my man. So if you could get those to me in a timely fashion, sir.
Don't do it, man. I think I've hit like 3 4 weeks in a row. I'm due for a loss. But if I win, I'm gonna be bragging about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't bet on it, but if I win, I'm gonna flaunt my money in your face.
I do want to say that I feel I can justify betting Cub by knockout based on the fact that if Dan Ike can knock you out, Cub Swanson 100% is going to come in and knock you the fuck out.
Yeah, but you have some issue with Dan Ige. The last Dan Ige fight, you were like, damn, 50K Ige. This motherfucker ain't never gotten to finish 50K. Change your nickname. You ain't never getting no 50K. And then he went and got a knockout.
Against scrub ass Andre Fili, and now
And
you
then,
want
hey,
to
and then
say
not only
Andre
that,
Fili is gonna beat Cub Swanson? Get the fuck out of here!
and then he commented on our editors too, man. We love Ige around here, bro. Ige showed us love.
I made his edit, right?
See, senor.
Well, fuck him then. I don't care. Fuck his feelings. Whatever. Get over it. Whatever. I think Dan's a good guy. I've met him. He's a really nice guy. I've met him, I think, 2 or 3 times. I know twice, maybe a third time. It's hard to remember. Up next, ready for this shit? It's not main card, but it should fucking be. How this fight is not main card, and we gotta pay $85 for whatever. So Joe Pyfer, Marc-André Barriault. I know I probably say it a little wrong, guys. I've been doing good tonight.
MAB, baby. MAB.
Yep. Pyfer. So this is 31 books, 25 days. Pyfer is minus 313. We got Marc-André at plus 238. The over is plus 100. The under is minus 130. That is on the 2.5. I like Joe Pyfer here. I just think he's the side. I think every reason everybody in here is going to hammer. I'd rather hear you guys say it, but he hits hard. I don't think Marc-André will be able to manhandle him in any grappling exchanges. I think Joe will stuff any takedowns Mark might throw at him. And I'm counting on the overhand to get it done. Trace.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and give a different take. I feel I'm playing Marc-André Barriault's late props, bro. I think if he survives the first round with Pyfer, I mean, he's the better cardio of the two. He's gonna push the pace. He's gonna pressure. I think he could break him late. If he survives early, I like Marc-André late. It may be late. I'm over here struggling with his name. So yeah, whenever FanDuel drops the late prop or the props, I'm gonna hit the round 2 or 3 KO, or round three in decision for MAB. I think we might see another hype train crash and burn, man. Mike,
My counter to that, sorry, and then I'll throw it over to Mike. My counter to that would be in a 5 round fight. I agree, but we've seen Joe Pyfer fight Jack Hermanson, and his output, um, actually increased all the way to the 3rd round. His
yeah,
accuracy stayed
I
similar,
was
hell in the third, but I don't
I
know.
was on. Sorry,
Go
Drew.
ahead.
Sorry, Drew.
No, I was just
I was on her Manson for that fight. So like I mean, if y'all pull up the tape. I was on her Manson for that fight. Mark's a far better striker than Hermanson. Hermanson's awkward, and that makes his striking successful for the most part. But Mark's the way better striker of out of him and Hermanson for sure. Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah,
he's
man.
pillow fist. But he's pillow fist. You
You know,
know,
you can take pillow fist when you're tired, brother. It don't
no,
matter
bro.
when.
He's gonna go out there and exchange with Joe, and he's gonna get hurt for it. I
I
really
need
believe that. I
I need
really
Mike
believe
to
that.
cut in here. Is Marc-Andre Barriault really the
No,
better
no,
striker over John
not at all.
Hermanson? These
No, not at
brother,
all, bro.
brother, I told you, take this man's mic. He crazy, brother. Trey's crazy tonight.
Yeah, man. No. I think even though Jack Hermanson is not traditional, I don't think you should go off traditional techniques and all that shit. It's what works for them, and are they consistent with doing that? Hermanson does that, and look, he wrote the book on how to beat Chris Curtis. No one thought Jack Hermanson was going to just lay the blueprint to beat Chris Curtis like that. But let's get to the fight, man. I have it in my notes that Joe Pyfer is going to win, but it is going to be a hard fight if that fight reaches the second half. Because Marc-André, again, his striking is not as good as Pyfer's, and he is going to get touched up. But if he survives, that pressure and the pace he brings is going to affect Pyfer because he is going to have to keep that output going. Otherwise, Marc-André Barriault is just going to start really letting go with his strikes, and it's going to, no matter if he's on his level of striking or not, it's not going to matter if he's defenseless because he doesn't have the cardio to keep up. But as far as the striking goes, how powerful he is, the way he picks his shots, and the fact that I believe he's going to be able to just take him down whenever he wants. I got Pyfer like first or second round.
So just to clarify, like I said, I'm not betting Pyfer because the odds are just too out of control. I think he's a rightful favorite. I'm the only way I'm betting it is the round 2 or 3 props because if something crazy happens, I don't want to be able to say I sold one of them tickets. Selfish, Usman.
So I'm all jokes, but to be honest, I see the validity on both sides, whichever side that you're on. But I'm personally on Pyfer. Looking at the split strat, it says to hit the under, but by the slimmest margins goes to split. We like it to be plus 400. It's at plus 425. Goes the distance. We want the minus money. It's at plus 125. And the over 2.5 is set at plus 100. I usually don't ever go against the strat. I kind of like it going to the over. I understand that Piper's got the bombs to shut the fight down as at any moment. And then also, Andre Barrio has been a cardio machine. He's been the kind of guy that's going to push you up against the fence too and try to slow you down. I think it'd be interesting to see Pyfer lean on that Philly jiu-jitsu and wrestling and try to take him down. Maybe get the finish via sub, or maybe just take on full control over him. I know Pyfer's a big ass guy, but Marc-André Barrio is a big guy as well. I might even be looking at throwing some sprinkles on. What's his name, Pyfer by decision. I'll look at those numbers right now. Highly unlikely, but like I said, give me a second to hit them
You
numbers.
might as well take the split then if you think it's going then. 'Cause I think them rounds get pretty tight in the
Okay,
after round 1.
so check this out. You got Joe Pyfer by points plus 185, Barrio by points plus 600. Like that just don't make sense. If anybody's winning a decision here, you would think it would be Marc-Andre Barrio, and you're getting better numbers on Pyfer by KO and submission. Those to me, I look at those numbers and I see big old red flags to where the book don't know what the hell is going to happen. Over, under, KO, submission, points. Give me Joe Pyfer by points plus 185.
Man.
Nasty business.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Ain't no friends in this shit, man. Don't nobody give a fuck about your feelings. All right, let's move on to the next one. That should be main card opening fight. Ian Garry, Michael Venom Page. 31 books, 31 days. News topics posted on both of these guys. Minus 143 average for Ian Garry, plus 115 for Michael Venom Page. The over is set at 2.5, minus 220. You're getting plus 180 if you take the under action. For me personally, I think this is I don't think this is a bad dog play. I do understand why some people, a lot of people, whatever, half the people, whatever the fuck it is, would take Ian Garry. I do see that he's a little more aggressive. I think that he's a little faster, and probably a little stronger. But I've seen Michael Venom Page fight guys that I think are easily as skilled as Ian Garry and do just fine with him. I think that his experience and that his patience will pay off here. I don't count on him to finish Ian Garry. The one thing that I've said Ian Garry will eventually be a fade for, I don't think gets him knocked out here, but I think makes him lose by decision. Ian Garry 100% walks forward and actually leans in to punch. He doesn't have the greatest reach that he wishes he does. And he's actually developed a strategy where if you watch him punch when he's trying to get after it, he like leans in with his upper body, almost making him top heavy. Like if you were to clip him, he's gonna fall flat like a sack of potatoes and hit his chin on the canvas. I don't think that's what Mike does, but I think Mike will be able to counter that very, very successfully, uh, multiple times, and I think it could look like a point decision win for MVP. Trace.
I'm actually going to throw it to Mike on this one. I've gone back and forth on it myself. Yeah, I don't have any plays on it. I think it goes to a decision more often than not. I think they probably do a lot of staring at each other. But I want to hear Mike's opinion on this fight.
Okay, so first, Ian Garry does that to counter. That if you watch him when he does do that, he counts on you to try to counter him, and he tries to counter you, and he's really fast. Now the speed advantage does go to Page, but the timing goes with Garry. So I think Gary's going to pressure. The speed might be a little bit of a problem at first because that dude really covers distance at a ridiculous speed. Man, that I when I rewatched his fights, man, that's when I knew he was going to beat Kevin Holland because Kevin Holland wasn't going to be able to do anything about that speed. But MVP is very linear. Most of his strikes are on a straight line, and Ian Garry, he's going to be able to time him. And I think it's just going to be off to that. Once he gets his timing, everything else is just going to come with it. And on top of that, Garry can grapple. Gary's going to be able to grapple him. And when he takes him to the ground, he's going to control him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes him, but honestly, I think it's going to be by decision. So Ian Garry by decision is the best play. I actually put in a money line on him early because that was like who was it that said oh man, I didn't want to say anything back then last week when someone said Naimov at a minus 125 was a gift. I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't do enough research on the opponent, and I'm not high on Naimov at all. Ian Garry is a special fighter. Minus 135, Ian Garry, that's a gift.
At me next time, asshole. How about you say my name, Mike? I want to hear my name come out your mouth, you asshole.
I said I forgot who said it because I didn't want to say nothing last time. I didn't do enough research, but I didn't agree with that at all. This is
Hey,
a
hey,
gift right here.
hey, who's the one that got their ass bit by the dog? Yeah, Lima showed me, right?
Joe, you there?
Yeah, sorry, someone was talking to me for a moment. All right, next fight on the card, boys. I don't usually get
I,
interrupted, man. Sorry about that,
I
guys.
guess I could go split strat real quick. Plus 275 goes to split.
I think
Minus
my volume got turned down. Can you guys hear me?
loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hit my volume down because my wife came out to talk to me for a second, and then I could still hear you. I don't know. That was fucking weird. You want to hit the strap before I move to the next one?
Yeah. Let's just make it clear. We're hitting by easily over 2.5, minus 220. Two long strikers gonna look at each other, unless Garry goes for the ground and pound or the sub. But we're hitting the cards here, so hit the over.
I don't even want to. I don't even. I do not even want to bring this fight up because I know for some reason. I know. Here we go, boys. Macy Chiasson versus Mayra Bueno Silva. 33 books, 25 days, minus 116 on Macy, minus 108 on Mayra. The over is at 2.5. The over is minus 165. The under is plus 135. I don't even want to talk about it. Go ahead, Trace. No, Mike, go ahead.
Okay, now look, I was hard on Macy right before someone was talking about the Pennington versus Chiasson fight, and I had to rewatch that one because apparently I don't remember what happened. But look, I'm on Chiasson. I'm high on Silva. I love the way she fights, but that's more of me just being a fan. I'm not high on her skill because she really just moves forward with such like just no defense at all. Just relies on her chin and give me 1 second. Sorry.
All good. Usman, what do you got on this fight?
How do you know I have a take on a not important women's fight, bro? Come on.
Because
Oh,
Chitaro's
yeah.
in it, boy. We know
You
you got to
you
take on it.
you think
Bro,
you
this
know
was
me
the
or what?
first one you fucking taped. Why are you gonna lie to me, bro? You
So
put
look,
you put more time on this fight than the rest.
look. Yeah, it's mostly because I get to look at Shitara. But Mike was on to something right there before he got cut off. It's like Macy Chiasson is gonna have the better striking. She's gonna have the better game plan of being the cage pusher, racking up enough time. Macy Chiasson is a tough girl. TUF. I gotta support the Ultimate Fighter. The only thing is that it's just one of those where I'd rather just hit the over and not pick a side and then just be okay that I was right on Macy Chiasson, because she just, to me, she's a fumbler. She's gonna go out there, have a great fight. She's probably gonna piece her up. She's gonna push her up against the cage, and then at some point she's going to get her neck snatched or some dumb bullshit like that. And it's just typical Macy stuff. Like, she shows such great gains and then she falls a step. And then she shows great gains, and then she falls a step. I love me some Irene Aldana. I was sweating having a bet on Irene Aldana because Macy was really coming on. What happens? Some fumble fluke bullshit with a damn up kick to the liver, and she's shut down. She's not weak. She's not. It's just bad luck. I don't know. I think Macy Chiasson is the side, but just hit the over. Goes to split plus 350. Goes the distance minus 145. Over 2.5 minus 165. Hit that. Put it on a parlay, and you'll be happy.
Yeah, I ain't you ain't wrong, Mike.
All right, yeah, my bad, kids. So yeah, basically that's what I was gonna say too. Chasson is a really good striker. She knows how to use her length when it comes to her jab, and then also with the grappling, she knows how to use that as well. But something stuck out to me in that fight, and that's Pennington's fight against Chiasson. The way she fought her is very similar to how Silva just fights. And I think Silva's going to find a lot of success in this fight. And now that I already put my money in on Chiasson, I kind of regret it. But yeah, I think Usman said it best. Just hit the over. That's the best way to go about it because they both have things they can do to win this fight. And it's more of a toss up. So either just hit the over or be very confident in who you're backing.
I would weigh in on this fight only to say that I fucking hate Macy. I have for a long time. I have nothing fucking nice to say about her. Yep, that's how I feel about her. But I have to be honest and say, I think she's on her way up. I don't know that she ever achieves a title, but if MBS is, what is she, number 3 or number 5? Anybody know? I'm bringing it up on our site right now.
If you check Cap MMA and you hit the rankings, we got the rankings.
She's number 3. So, Macy's number 7. If I'm being honest, MBS is a top 10 fighter at best, and Macy is a top 3 fighter right now. It fucking pains me to say it. I do not like Macy Chiasson, but I really think she's on her way up, and I think we see her in a title fight next year.
You said MBS?
No, Macy. I think we see Macy in a title fight next year. By the end of the year, I think she grabs another W. If it's not a title fight, she fights Pennington or Pena in like a title eliminator and maybe loses a decision or something. But yeah, I just think she's really putting it together very well lately. As much as I fucking dislike her, I just think she is putting it together pretty damn well. So I think she gets it. Zabets.
Yeah, I agree with what you have to say there. MBS, her last fight versus Pennington was a complete red flag for me. She totally gassed out and had nothing to offer, so I definitely got to fade her.
Yeah, she showed a lot in that fight, and I couldn't be high on her at all. Is everybody done with this fight? Because that would be great. Yay! Anthony Smith and Roman Dolidze. Like, fucking musical chairs, man. Like, all right, so says it's been on here for as long as 10 days at some books. Anthony Smith plus 139, Roman Dolidze minus 147. The over set at over 2.5. The under is at under 2.5. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Short camp, shit camp, short camp, shit camp. I have no interest in betting on either one of these guys. Trace. I cannot hear Trace. Can anybody hear Trace?
I was just about to
I can't hear
say
him.
I can't hear him.
So I think that, hold on, let me remove him from a co-host. I think that he had to, and now he has requested and I can approve him. Okay, so it had him as a co-host, but he lost his mic. There he goes. And then I can probably reinvite him. Anyway, Trace, go ahead. Can we hear you?
Yeah, tell me what we got going on. I've been having trouble with my connection.
Yeah, you got Xfinity. I think they're having huge problems as a company. Anyway, go ahead.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Anthony
We're
Smith,
talking about
Roman.
Anthony Smith and Roman Dolidze. What's your take on this one? Trace is fucked. Mike, go ahead.
There we go. Good old Dolidze, however you say it. Yeah, man. I pass.
That's me. I even waited 3 minutes, figured so you could hear you say that. Mike, are you betting this fight?
No, not at all.
Look at
uh,
us. The sharpest fucking group on Twitter. Everybody running around trying to drop bets on this dumbass shit.
no, but look, man, I'm a big fan of Roman Dolidze, and one thing that gets me, and look, Anthony Smith isn't done; he's not washed, and I hate that's kind of been the narrative lately because he's been getting his ass whooped. And I've seen it coming, and I've also had it bite me in the ass with that Vitor Petrino fight. But this is a winnable fight for him. Roman Dolidze, he has the power, he has the grappling, but as much power as he carries, You can see it in the speed. He is so slow with his punches. I mean, it is, I hate how slow it is, but you understand the power that he carries. Anthony Smith can actually use his speed this time. And the only reason why I'm not betting it is because I understand he's willing to grapple Dolidze, and that would be a mistake. So both fighters can fuck up. Both fighters can have a clear path to victory as well. So don't bet it.
I personally have never understood the Roman Dolidze love. I just don't get it. I don't think he's that good personally, but been wrong
So
before.
to piggyback off what Mike was saying, I watched Nasruddin Imavov put fucking hands on Roman Dolidze. Uh, yeah, I gotta feel like Anthony Smith can probably touch him up too, and it probably looks messy. And the decision, I feel like this has got decision wrote all over it, or Anthony Smith submission. Dead picks. Nice to see you grab a mic, bro. Get after it.
Yeah, so for anyone that watches along on the YouTube during the lives, or to anyone that watches the replays, um, before you guys were even breaking down this fight, as this fight was being announced, I usually make my clicks, after the fact, when everyone's made the pick. I picked the majority pick, for the odds board. This time I didn't even give it like a chance for the breakdowns. I literally just clicked Roman the leads and I clicked under. I think if this fight was to end, I think this fight's gonna. I don't know. I just see the fight ending in a finish. And if anything, I do like that Anthony Smith submission prop. But man, just seeing like Smith get sparked and like beat on like in every fight, like it like no tape like in my mind would help me, like cap this, like the all I could think about is those times, where Smith was just getting put out. So with that said, I didn't do no work on this fight at all. It was just really just a gut feeling play. So, but I mean, in reality, I will be betting. I'm gonna be betting Smith probably by sub. For the dimes, and then for the main play, I'll probably take that Roman the leads knockout prop. I'm like going in on this, expecting to lose. So do not tail on this play.
What I would say, what I would ask everybody before I throw it over to Usman is when Anthony Smith takes Roman Dolidze down, because he will, because Dolidze is fucking ass takedown defense. Anthony Smith will have no problem getting him down. Is Roman able to get back up in the end of the second or beginning of the third round? And if he's not able to get back up, what is Anthony Smith's window for the rear naked choke? Because that's just what I think. I think Roman is the younger, stronger, whatever. Mike, I felt like you took the words out of my mouth when you talked about how slow his striking is. He's gonna throw that slow ass shit. Anthony Smith is going to take him down. It is going to happen. I guess my question is, do you guys think that Dolidze is going to get up and beat him up for it? Or you think Smith is going to choke him out? I think the choke sinks, man.
No, Dolidze, it's not that his takedown defense is ass, it's that he loves playing on the ground. He like if you watch him on the
Nah,
ground,
bro.
even on the
His
bottom, he
takedown
can create.
defense is
He,
shit. Come on.
bro, okay, just watch him play on the ground, bro. If he's on bottom, it does not matter. He can create space and grab those legs. I don't understand the leg play because it did not work against Trevor Giles, but that's just his thing.
In a perfect world, he shoots for a takedown, or Smith shoots for a takedown. He rolls for a knee bar, and Smith pounds him out for JP Bays. One love, brother. We'll get you back, JP Bays. Cheyenne didn't do you dirty like that, man. We saw we wear him for you, brother. That's for JP Bays, man. He gonna kill him.
Man, I think you boys are crazy on this one. Man, I'm talking myself into betting Anthony Smith submission right now. Usman.
I don't think it's a bad bet, man. You know me. I always say any losing bet is a bad bet, but we don't get to see that until after the fight, right? Uh, uh, so over and unders set at 2.5. Goes to split plus 425. Goes to distance plus 110. That both of them are telling us to hit the under, basically. Um, I'm real sketchy with this fight. Like Mike, I'm a huge Dolidze fan. I told y'all bet Dolidze by sub against Hermanson because Hermanson was gonna be dumb enough to roll around on the ground with Dolidze. I feel like at any point in this fight we could get a finish. Dolidze is gonna be the younger guy coming up to 205. I think that's gonna help him because he's a pretty big guy at middleweight. He hits really fucking hard. Y'all have nailed it that he's a slow striker though. I think that at any point we can see Dolidze land something stupid and get Anthony Smith all chinny. Then Smith goes and gets that takedown, and then we have two doofuses rolling around on the ground, and there could be a sub at any moment from either side. I think the under is a pretty good play here. I'm real sketched out by this fight because I know I told y'all last week that Anthony Smith isn't going to come in here on short notice, 2 times in a row. Same thing with Alex Perez and turn down two prospects. He's not going to beat Vitor Petrino and come out and beat Olberg. Well, Olberg's out of the damn fight, and now we get this fucking shit on 10 days notice. Hey,
Um,
maybe the degenerate who bets every fight is telling you don't bet on this fight at all. Just don't do it.
Here's what I want to say to Mike, and I don't say this to everybody all the time, but I'm going to say to Mike on this one. When they're on the ground, like two fish out of fucking water, and they're flailing around, and it doesn't look great, but Anthony got the takedown, and Roman tries to scoot over to the cage, but he's not good at it because he's slow at everything. At the moment that Anthony Smith takes his back, I want you to say, fucking Joe. I want you to say that out loud. I just want you to fucking Joe because it's over. Once
Did you?
Anthony gets his back, that fight is over.
If he gets his back, yes, but I doubt that. Man, did you see what he did against Jack Hermanson?
Got taken down.
And what did he do from there?
Jack Hermanson sucks on the ground. That's not fair.
Oh
Jack
my
Hermanson,
God.
come on.
Jack Hermanson
You're talking
dominated a
out your ass.
prime Jacare.
You're talking out your ass. Jack
I
Hermanson
gotta
was
give him
Prime
a
never
hard
sucked on
time.
the
Jacare.
ground.
I don't go after Mike too much. I got to give him a hard time here. Let's not kill it on this one. I do understand why everybody is not on Anthony Smith. I just think that submission prop is going to be a sexy one to hit come Saturday morning bet drop time. Up next, co-main event of the night: Brian Ortega, Diego Lopes. If we switch over to the odds board here, which I should have already been on, plus 120 for Ortega on average, minus 149 for Diego Lopes. I think that it is absolutely fucking insane that Diego Lopes is the favorite. I could see it at like dead money, but I just cannot see that he should be that much of a favorite in my opinion. Um, I do think his submission prop is very live though, and Darce did this fight favors Brian Ortega, but the most probable finish in the fight is Diego Lopes 35% submission probability. The most likely outcome is submission or is fight goes the distance. And the most likely outcome per side is Brian Ortega has a 55% probability of winning this fight by decision. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like the Lopes sub. I felt like I liked it early, but realistically, he's probably got 4 minutes to put it on Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega probably finds his timing, figures out how to time the takedowns, defense, and probably pieces him up to a decision. But I would like to see Diego choke him out and rock it to the top. I'll throw this one to Mike first.
Look, man, I'm not high on Diego at all, which I fucking hate it because he keeps costing me money. But I'll say it with this fight. Well, look, here's the thing. Brian Ortega striking, as improved as it is, the one thing he has not changed, which I hate when you get hit by the same thing over and over and you don't address it. It's the counter right hand. That is Diego Lopez's power shot. That's what he knocks people out with. I hate that. So Diego Lopez by knockout is one play. But if Brian Ortega can take him to the ground, he can win a decision because Lopez is really good on the ground and people kind of underestimate that a little bit. I think Gavin Tucker, prime example, he went in for a bad shot and got caught with an armbar early because he wasn't respecting the submission game. The dude's really good on the ground. You gotta just hold him. You gotta control him. Do not give him any openings, otherwise he will grab a neck, he will grab an arm, and it's over from there. No openings. Take him down, control him, get a decision. Do not play with him on the feet, especially if you haven't addressed your what could get you in trouble and is consistently getting you in trouble with the striking. So both have a clear path to victory. Lopez can bring out a counter right, knock him out. Brian Ortega can just take him down, control him. And I like the Brian Ortega by decision.
Very nice. I think Ortega decision is the most likely outcome as well. Trace.
Yeah, man, I took a half unit shot on a Brian Ortega round 2 or 3 submission. I think we haven't seen much of Dylan of Lopez's cardio after the first round, so yeah, I think he might come out and have a strong round 1, and then we see kind of like the Yair fight where Brian Ortega just kind of takes over after that, starts getting the takedowns. And yeah, I think if he's able to get to his back, it's only a matter of time before he's able to get a submission. So at plus 1,300 for Brian Ortega for a round 2 or 3 submission, why not? I took a shot on him. But I
Yeah,
think Ortega is a side.
that's that's a good cash if that hits, Trace. That's a good cash, bro. That's a nice one.
What's the price?
Plus 1,300, he said.
Damn, that's a good one too. Okay.
Yeah, that's nice. Usman.
Yeah, so goes to split plus 425, goes to distance plus 150. This is one of those fights where I'm automatically looking at taking this as a loss on the split strat because it's set at over 1.5, and those margins are so just so fucking thin and so close to telling us to hit the over. But at 1.5 minus 215 against a dude who's got a rock solid chin. I know what's it called? Ortega has got great jujitsu. We did see Diego Lopez go all 3 rounds with Evloev rolling around, really tired fight, and both of them seem to have no issue there. I think unless somebody's chin 100% fails in the first round, we're hitting the over 1.5 easy. As for picking a side, God, man, Ortega's chin just it scares me. I know, I'm a Mexican and I can't go against a Mexican chin, man. But I got a Brazilian in Mexico in Diego Lopez, and the dude is just a meme. He's gonna get a damn knee bar. He's gonna knock you out with an uppercut. He's gonna do a bunch of shit that he shouldn't do, and everybody's gonna come out every single fight and say that he's not as good as he is, and he's not supposed to be here. But the dude is what do I say? You don't bet on a bad haircut. You don't bet on a bad tattoo. This guy has both. Negative and a negative makes it positive. You bet on Diego Lopez with the stupid emo mullet.
You're fucking ridiculous. Main
Another
event
thing,
time.
I just want to
Go
come up with
ahead.
one thing. Another thing that I think when you start taking the facts is the camp that he's with. Who is it? Outside of Aldana and what's the chick's name?
Grosso.
Grasso. Who are his training partners? Like that is, whenever you talk about him and his training camp, that is who they highlight. Who is the male talent that he's training with? At some point, that's going to matter.
Marcelo Rojo, bro. Come on. You were talking all big about him earlier.
Exactly. Exactly.
But to counter that, Do you even know where Ortega's training out of?
Tempe, Arizona, boy.
Who are
But
his training
down to that,
partners?
don't you think that Alexa Grasso could submit Brian Ortega?
No, I don't know where he's.
No.
I don't know.
I'm
No,
just
hell
fucking.
no.
I'm just.
He would let her.
He would send that shit to Tracy Cortez, bitter motherfucker.
He
Anyways,
looked like he'd be down there sucking on her toes. He looked like a toe sucker.
yeah,
Okay, main event.
goddamn Jandaroba chat. Um, Main event: Alex Pereira, Yuri Prohashka. I think that's how it's properly said. Whatever is what it is. Yuri is plus 122, Alex minus 152. That's 30 books, 11 days. News stories all over this. The over is set at 2.5, minus 170 if you take it, plus 140 if you
One
uh
and a half. One and a half.
1.5. Is it one? Our site says two, which means one book, probably fucking Superbook, is misreporting it, and it throws the whole fucking AI off. Any fucking way. Dars picks Yuri to win, 60% probability. Um, I pick AP to win. I really want Darce to build that model. Darce is 11-1 right now. It seems to be a good system and a good way to bet. I had a gut feeling that it was wrong about the Pavlovich Volkov fight. It just seemed like Volkov would be able to do exactly what he did, and he did. I feel like AP will lose this fight until he puts him to sleep, like he often does. I don't feel like AP is a great fighter. I feel like that man has fucking knockout power, and he can lean into losing a fight to get his shot because that shot wins the fight, and he knows it. So I think it'll look exactly how Darce thinks, and Yuri will be winning the fight, and then all of a sudden, AP shuts him off. That's just my take. Trace, what do you got?
Yeah, so I've been saying it since the Jamal Hill fight. I've put it in the chat multiple times. I just like watching that fight. The Prohaska fight was the reason I was on Jamal Hill for the AP fight. The way he kept just panicking whenever he was up against the fence, just he was trying to predict what he was going to do, and he was just flailing his arms, trying to block punches that weren't coming from the feints from Jiří from the pressure. If he comes forward in this fight and just says fuck the leg kicks, gets inside and keeps pressuring, and instead of waiting and let him waiting on the outside like he did last time and eating so much leg damage, I think we see him just march forward this time and puts the pressure on AP. That shot, obviously, like you said, is always there. He can land that coming forward. He can land that going backwards. He can land that going anywhere he wants to, man. When he lands that kind of shit, it changes the fight. But yeah, I think Prohaska probably went back and we know he did, went back and obsessed about this fight. Probably watched that tape, rolled over that tape, and has been envisioning this fight his whole time since he's lost. I think he's probably going to come out here and honestly, man, the trilogy makes too much sense. Like I said, this division's like for the most part for a long time has been a dead division. AP and Jiří have been the highlight of this division for the last year or two now. Uh, yeah, man. I think that, like I said, the trilogy makes too much sense. I think we come in here and we see them fight. Jiří probably wins, and then we have that trilogy fight for the winner takes all. I think it makes too much sense, and it's the most action that a heavyweight or light heavyweight division's seen in a long time. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. So give me Jiří. I played Jiří KO 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4 at different prices. I think that pretty much should cover the time frame from when he would get a knockout. From there on, it probably goes to decision. But I've even thought about playing the sub prop, man. Like we might see him come in and shoot a takedown and just try to take out the striking out of the equation altogether. I mean, we've seen him submit Jiří or Glover. So I mean, he's submitted more decorated Brazilian artists in the coach. So yeah, man. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. If depending on how crazy the line is, I might take a stab at it because it is such a low thing. But sure would be a cool one to cash. Usman.
Darce was never my friend, and honestly, I think it's stupid to have AI pick fights because they don't know shit, and AP is gonna win this fight. I hope Yuri goes and goes for a takedown or two. I've said for the past three fights now, what we've seen through AP's ground game has nothing to do with getting up or trying to find a submission or reversal. I think he's really just worked on nullifying attacks from the bottom. He's going to overhook your arms when you're in his guard. He's gonna hold you down. He's gonna burn time. And the dude is a fucking ape and can hold you down even against a big guy like Yuri. He did it in the first fight. So I hope Yuri comes out and looks for takedowns because that's gonna burn time off the clock. Last time they fought, we were talking about how the over 1.5 was a lock and it was going to hit, and it did. But damn, did we get sweaty for it? Goes to split plus 800, goes the distance plus 375. This is another one of those fights where I'm looking at it and automatically counting it as a loss because we're set at 1.5 minus 170, and I just think we're gonna get there. The Yuri striking is even though Pereira's already seen it, it's gonna take some time for him to find his death blow, and whether they get to the ground, the time is gonna be burning. So I like over 1.5. I'm on Alex Pereira. I'm on his KO line, and shit. In some crazy ass world, this fight does go to the distance. Like for some strange ass reason, the first time they say rematches never happen like they did the first time. In this one, we do get an all out war, and it would make the legacy and the legend of Alex Pereira be a whole lot more crazy if he goes out there, puts out a blood and guts performance for 5 rounds, and takes out a unanimous or a split decision against Yuri. I also hate that everybody. I want you to go and look for
Bryce,
somebody that's beating on AP.
are you
Betting.
still going?
Yes, I go. This is the
Jesus
main event, bro.
Christ.
I go. I got about 5 more minutes. I got about
Fuck,
five more
man.
minutes.
Hey, listen, I know you don't like the whole AI thing, but the AI said to take the Lopez sub and the Ortega decision. You're taking both of them, right?
No, bro. The joke was that, like Dana says, Darce was never my friend. Fucking Stitch was never my friend. Come on, you get the joke, bro. You've been
I
around long
know
enough.
it was another joke, but you didn't get it. It's okay. Is that it? Everybody, anybody else want to get on this fight main event?
We didn't even let Mike go yet.
Mike.
Oh shit, man!
We
I'm
all
so
some hey,
sorry.
we all some joking motherfuckers right here, huh, Joe? Let my man Mike rap.
That's
No,
why you let
bro.
me go last or let me go first.
Go ahead, get after it, Mike. My bad, brother.
Look, I had Yuri the first time because I think he presents a lot of problems, but I think after losing to AP, like something did change in him, and you saw it at UFC 300. Did anybody see that a fan put out a video of Yuri just outside of T-Mobile Center just looking at it all night? And like you could tell like he had some energy about him, like he was not going to lose and he's going to get his way back to a title and he's going to want to win that title. And he was getting beat on by Rakic, but he fought through it, hurt him, and just put a beating on him. I think Yuri is going to be able to do that against AP. Again, I have AP winning, but watching that performance against Alexander Rakic, because I'm high on Rakic. Yuri had it in his eyes, like you can see in his eyes. It does not matter what you do to me, I am gonna come after you, and I'm gonna put this beating on you. I I have a weird feeling he's gonna do that against AP, and I believe he's gonna win, and we will see a trilogy. I'm telling you, Yuri's on another level right now, and it feels like he reached another level losing to AP, and I think we're gonna see that, especially in this fight, because let's face it, AP is gonna kick him. Those leg kicks are coming. Those leg kicks, you can see how damaging they are, and how it's hard to defend against him because there's no tell. And just where he hits you, it's where he hits you that hurts the most, and it affects the movement. And he tried to fight it before, but I believe this time he's going to be able to get through it. And I believe if he hits AP, and especially if he takes him down, I believe he's going to be able to take him down this time. I believe this is going to be a more complete performance. And I don't think AP is going to be ready for that.
For what it's worth, I do hope AP wins. I just think Jiří is going to get this one. But Shama,
I would say I do. If I was on Yuri's side, I would have a little concern that he. You brought up how AP was kind of panicking in the exchanges when they were against the cage. I don't know, man. I think I can see Yuri getting his own head, and I think that can be the difference here. AP is going to be the predator now. He knows he can. He knows he can, and I think it will put a change in him. And I think that Yuri knows that he can too, and that is going to put a change in him. I've watched a lot of fighters get finished by a guy and then have to step back in the ring with him, and I don't think Yuri has what it takes to overcome that. Personally, I don't think he has it. I think that edge will be enough for AP to get it done.
either way, no matter what side you're on, you're going to be sweating your fucking balls off during this fight. If you're holding a money line, if you're holding the under or an over, excuse
Yeah,
me.
it doesn't matter how you go about it. You're going to be sweating, yeah.
But it should be a fun one, man. I think this is one thing we can't say about this fight. There's no way that this is going to be a boring fight. Jiří's going to come forward and they're going to crack, man. But it's going to see. It's going to be a fun one.
Back to majority decision. Fight ends by majority decision. What are the odds on that? I'm not being super serious, but I know those odds will be fucking super high.
So I got either fighter by majority decision, Pereira plus 1,600, Yuri Prohaska plus 1,800.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm telling you, like,
That's fucking good though.
so everybody cried about the stoppage being early the last time. We've seen fucking Yuri get knocked and roll around on the floor and then get his ass back up and then keep on fighting. There is some crazy ass world where this goes to decision, man.
So you're telling me a bet that is typically found at like minus 2,500, minus 3,000 on a fight that is minus 170 on the under 1.5 is only minus 8 or only plus 1,800 to go majority for one side. I'll be honest. I know you guys might think I'm crazy. I think that's low odds. I think you should be getting plus
Oh, that's
fucking
mad low. And
3,000.
that's good. Like most fights, you're looking at like 700 or 800, and then you're lucky if you get like 11 or 12 on the side. So for it to be like 16 and north of that, I haven't seen many fights like that. Honestly,
Are you talking on the split or the majority though?
it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, split or majority plus 1,600 for
Gotcha.
Alex, 1,800 for Yuri. But also, I mean, considering who these fighters are, you've got a fucking knockout king versus a guy who can knock you out and sub you, who goes for finishes. I think even looking at the points line, Pereira by points plus 550, kind of ridiculous. Prohaska by points plus 900, also kind of stupid. Like you would think that they'd be giving plus 1,000. The 1,200 would be the decision for both of these guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. I'm sure DraftKings doesn't have it up. They will sometimes put out a prop for fight ends by majority decision, and you can just bet that. And that's what I was more specifically trying to see if I could find. It gets listed with like the
So I have a question, Joe. So we do the board bet segment. We're both we're now 1-1, me and Better Times.
okay.
Uh, with our obviously with our one pending this week being Gillian Robinson versus Michelle Waterson-Gomez. Uh, where are we at with that graphic? Did we end up deciding a graphic?
I wasn't confident. I sent one over, and then I thought you said you liked it. But I can comment one right now and see if you like it. It only
Yeah,
take me.
we're going to start getting that out and hopefully start getting it out more often, so we can keep update on that. But Yeah, we got to start doing some forfeits. So I guess first person to get to 5, the loser drinks or has to shotgun a beer or something like that. We'll do something like that, but it'll be a forfeit on camera. But yeah, we need to figure out that graphic on that.
It finally let me in the space, but I can't see anybody on the computer. They must be doing a big update, guys, because I've been trying to get my other account, my personal account in. It's easier for me to comment and shit from the computer all night, and it won't. It keeps doing weird shit every time I load it. So I'm assuming that spaces are actually getting some update work right now. That's typically what we see. I'm going to send this graphic directly to your DMs, Trace, and then you can post it in here if you want or tell me what you think of it. I'll just do it that way. Does that end the card? Are we done?
Yeah, close it out. We should be good with that. I'll get you. I'll have you. I'll let you know what I have on that graphic soon. Mike, what you got?
Oh, I was just gonna say something after we're done because there's a banger fight that just got announced.
What is it?
Dan Ige
Well, geez, we're just gonna
versus
step all over the fight announcement fucking section, aren't we? Huh?
versus Chepe, bro. Oh my god, come on.
All right. Well, I can't let you steal the juice. Trace, that's in your inbox right now. So that caps the card. We're at 11:18. Well, that's what is that? 2 hours 18. That's not actually too bad for a pay-per-view card. If I'm being honest, that's pretty good. So, okay, that caps that off. Usman does fight announcements. I got a few fight rumors and online agreements to throw in there, and then Mike's ready to talk about Chepe. So, Usman, where are you at with the fight announcements, bud? Let's get after it.
Pump the brakes on the Chepe. We'll get there. We got an order and a list. First off, let's talk about the real banger: Muhammad Usman versus Thomas Peterson, UFC Vegas '94, July 20th.
Next.
No, lots of Muhammad Usman fans in
You just
here.
want to talk
No.
about it because your name's in it, bro.
All right. Then we'll switch over to the next one. I know y'all want to talk about this. Uh, Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler on a UFC Apex card, August 10th. Come on, give it to me. I expect 15 minutes.
Um,
Don't worry about
Okay.
it. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rosenstruck at UFC 305, August 17th in Perth. Come on, now that's a
wait.
banger.
It's Ty and Rosenstruth.
Yes, sir.
Is Rosenstruth also coming off losses?
No, he just beat Shamil Gaziev in the 5th round, quitting on the stool.
So we can all agree that Tuivasa is popular enough that the UFC will let that man take 5 L's in a row and he'll still get a new UFC contract, right?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just so we're clear, because he could win this. I mean, I know he can knock anybody out, but I have not liked the way Ty has looked for a while now. I was live when he got knocked out, or when he knocked out fucking god damn it, Greg Hardy, and came off my feet. I love Ty, but I I don't see him going back up. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see it. So, but I don't think he leaves the UFC ever. To be honest, ever.
I mean, they're giving him a fight where somebody's gonna slug it out with him. It'd be downright criminal for Jairzinho to go to Perth and shoot for takedowns.
And what
Well, he's
date
not
was
gonna
that?
slug it out though.
What day
He's
was
gonna
that?
strike with him. That's August 17th, UFC 305.
All right. That's August 17th. All right. So, what are you doing these in chronological order or announcement order?
Announcement order.
Gotcha. So, I think I throw this one in there now. You got RoboCop on there?
No, I've seen rumors, but we don't do
So he won't.
rumors.
He hasn't confirmed his opponent, but he confirmed that he's got a signed contract. I think that would be one we throw in there now. So I'm curious to see who he fights. Any speculation there?
Have to pull up the rankings. What is he? 185, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was his last fight?
Nobody important. No, I'm not. My bad. I'm just being a dick. Um, I don't know that RoboCop will get a top 10 guy. I don't even think he'd get. I'm curious if he would even get a. If
I
they would.
mean, it doesn't make sense for him to get a top 15 fighter. Just listing top 10: Dolidze, Chimaev, Kyle Bahalio, Pereira, her Fluffy, and Chris Curtis. None of those are getting a RoboCop fight, so no clue who he's fighting.
Yeah. All right. I
Chris
agree
Curtis
with
would be
that.
nice though.
Chris Curtis would be nice. That wouldn't be a bad fight at all. But I don't think RoboCop's getting that top 15 push. Is my point. I don't think he's. I don't think they're doing it.
And I don't think Curtis is probably going to be healthy by now.
Yeah, I agree with that too. What do you got next?
Now, Mike, we can talk about Danny Gay versus Chepe Mariscal, UFC Vegas 94, July 20th. First off, I'll just say they're giving Chepe the push, aren't they? Isn't this
Chappie,
weird as a
Chappie,
motherfucker?
Chappie, Chappie,
Hey man,
Chappie,
I've always had a
Chappie.
rule: you do not bet against Chepe.
Hey, I was on him for the Morgan Shariov fight, and people want to call it a robbery. I call it cash in my
Yo,
wallet, boy.
sounds
I
like
actually
another sounds
wasn't.
like another sounds like another 50K for Dan Ige. That's fight of the night right there, boys.
Man, I'd like to welcome Cade from Cage Side Press. He's big time. He don't make it around here a lot no more. I'd like to welcome him to the mic. He's a good friend of the space. What's happening, Cade? I'm just fucking with you, bud. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, everyone? Sorry, I've been busy, man. Been busy with school and shit, but I'm glad to be here tonight.
Good. Stay busy, man. That shit is important. I just like fucking with you. Keep coming back. You watching? Who you got in Pepe? Who you taking in the Pepe fight?
Bro, who's he fighting again?
Danny Gay.
Oh
No, no
shit,
K's Dan Ige. No K's Dan Ige.
Oh my
Chepe's
god.
fighting Dan Ige.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
Not for Dan
Uh,
Ige's bitch ass.
I mean, shit. Chepe's tough. Dan Ige, I mean, Dan Ige's tough too. I mean, shit. I don't even know, bro. I'll probably just watch that one. Have fun with that one.
Chepe's about to piece his old ass up.
Didn't Danny? Oh wait, no, never mind. He fought. Didn't he fight Fili last time and knocked him out? He fought. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a good one. I think Chepe, but I don't know.
Who do you got this week for the main event, Kate? Pereira versus Jerry.
It's like one of those revenge spots, bro. But I don't know. I still think Alex Pereira.
Yeah, boy. What you got next, Usman?
Last one that's official. Macy Barber is out with an undisclosed injury of the UFC Denver main event against Rose Namajunas. Stepping in, not on short notice, will be Tracy Cortez, July 13th.
Who you
Yo,
got? Go ahead.
that's a good one right there. Cortez, I do. It's fun. It's about time she gets a name that can actually give her some momentum to the title. Because let's face it, she can fight like a top five and get that little title contender shot. She should be fighting for. She should. I think she should have already been in a title picture by now, especially since Blanchfield got there.
I also think that fight got moved back to co-main. I think is what they're trying to do. I've seen some rumors on the timeline that they're trying to do Cannonier and Holland for the main event.
So, from what
Oh
I've
yeah, I heard
seen,
that too.
that's not official, but that they're doing that as the co main.
Oh, so the Holland and Cannonier fight will be coming.
That's what I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Either way, short notice. I think that's a cool fight to see. Holland and Cannonier. So I'd like to see that one added to that card because it's a pretty solid little card. Um, I'll be honest, man. I like Tracy Cortez. I think she's really good. I haven't been on her for every single one of her fights. I don't remember which fight I thought she wasn't going to get it, but I did think there was one fight she was going to get the L. Um,
Jazz,
I,
right?
I maybe Jazz Devicius. Did she fight Jazz Devicius?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she
was on
did.
Jasper Vicious
Yeah,
too.
I probably was on Jazz Devicius there.
Come
But
on, guys. Y'all know
if
better.
if I'm being honest with, like, I really like Tracy. Um, I think Tracy needs a couple more fights before she's ready for someone like Rose, even on Rose's decline. Rose is going to be like, we talk about levels and all that bullshit or whatever. That's great, but like when you get into like the way I talk about it with my friends, Rose has a pedigree. Like she has a training pedigree that comes from years, comes from fighting high echelon. It's not something that can just be taught to you by a trainer. Your fighting pedigree is who you fought, how you did against them, when you fought them, your trainers, and everything else added up. And I'm not confident that Tracy Cortez is at the pedigree to stand in front of Rose Namajunas and get a W. Yeah, if Rose has good striking, like we can say what we want. She's old, she's fading, she's looked bad. Rose has really good striking, and Rose has decent grappling, and Rose has good counter grappling. Um, it's literally Tracy walking into the fucking fire and the three most important aspects of the fight for her, in my opinion. So if Tracy gets this, I'm just going to be one. I'll say straight up and flat out, I am going to think much, much higher of Tracy Cortez than I do if she can walk through Rose Namajunas.
What happened with
Hey, look,
Jasmine
her
Jasovicius?
striking looked good though.
What happened with JJ? Jasmine Jasovicius?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I
No, what
understand.
happened? What happened with it?
She finished her, right?
Oh,
No,
I thought you were talking about her upcoming fight.
no, Tracy beat her by decision.
Tracy
No,
beat her
I
by
think he
decision.
just he was coming back into the conversation, like asking what we were
Oh,
talking
I
about with
got you.
her.
We're talking about Tracy fighting Rose, and I don't think Rose is on the I don't think Tracy is ready for Rose's pedigree, Trace. Like, I think Tracy's a great fighter, but I think she needs 2, 3 fights before she's ready for Rose.
See, I kind of just think it just depends on like what version of Rose you get, because like last fight out, Rose looked really good. I mean, Fiorot, she was moving up a division, fighting a Savage, and I mean, she didn't look terrible, but I mean, she lost the fight for sure. She got beat up by a good fighter, but I think it just really depends on what version of her you get, because I mean, if they're standing and banging, I think Rose obviously wins, but like if Tracy can get Rose down, I mean, I think it is. I think she is that good of a I should say wrestler. Like I think she could hold her there if she gets her there, maybe. But yeah, I think I like Rose too, Joe. To be honest with you in this fight, just because of the experience factor. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tracy beat her.
So, like, my thing would be panic grappling, right? Tracy is still at the level where she can make women panic. She's still fighting at the level where she can make women panic when she gets in certain positions. Rose isn't going to panic. That's Tracy's biggest edge to this point. I mean, she's a great fighter, but what does she bring that other fighters don't bring? Tracy Cortez makes people panic in grappling scrambles, um, and it's not going to work with Rose, and I don't even think she'll be able to out grapple Rose to enough to win the fight. Sure, she might win the grappling. I'm not going to fucking make an argument about it, but it's not going to be fight winning in my opinion. And if Rose finishes her on the ground, I wouldn't even be surprised. Like I I think Rose. I fucking hate Rose sometimes, but Rose is a good fighter. Usman.
Yeah, I do think Rose has the better striking, but I think we've seen Tracy work on her striking and get better. I do think that if she does get Rose down, she is going to be able to hold her down. She's been able to show it throughout her whole career, whether it be Blanchfield, Jasmine Jasovicius, wasn't it also against Miranda Maverick? She's been able to hold girls down. I
Yeah,
think
but what I'm saying is Rose can counter grapple, where I don't feel like those other women, even though they might be strong grapplers, are good counter grapplers. Like I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm trying to say, but
No,
I think
I
in
mean,
the
I don't disagree with you. I mean, because I mean, it really comes down to the like you're saying the grappling. Because if she stands in front of Rose Namajunas, she's gonna lose the technical battle. That's just what's gonna happen. So it really does come out come down to the grappling. Now, it just really depends if you think Rose, like you're saying, Joe, has the the counter grappling and also just the defense to stop the takedowns, because that's obviously probably going to be Tracy's game plan for the fight.
So, I've told y'all multiple times the only podcast I listen to is Santino DeFranco. And one thing that I've picked up throughout always watching his show is that he's made it really clear that he and the manager have tried to take care of Tracy's career as best as possible. They've tried to pick the right opponents for her. They've tried to make it seem like, oh, we shouldn't take that fight. We should take this fight. This fight's easier. This fight's harder. Um, for them to be taking this fight, I really think I've always said DeFranco is my favorite corner. He's always got a brilliant game plan. Knows how to change it up in the middle of a fight. He must see something um, that gives them the idea that Tracy can take this win over Rose.
Mike.
Yeah, look, man, the one big thing that I've always had against Tracy Cortez is her striking. As far as the grappling goes, I think Tracy has that covered against Rose. And I understand what you're saying about the defensive grappling. That's one of the things I love watching out of fighters if they have it. But Tracy Cortez has taken down some really strong grapplers and just controlled them. Jasmine Jasavicius is one of them. Ja, Jasmine has one of the greatest takedown defenses I've ever seen, and she had no chance against Cortez. But I picked Jasmine because I thought the striking was better, and I think there was about about a year, almost a year between her two fights, between her last fight with Gato and coming into Jasavicius. Let me see. Oh, she hasn't fought in almost, yeah, about a year. So in between that year, when she fought Jasmine, I was really impressed with her striking. So I think she'll be able to hang on the feet. I wouldn't advise it, but I think the clear path to victory is the grappling. And I think this is a real big spotlight for her. And I think it's long overdue. And I think she has a real chance at getting to where she needs to be now, because I think she should have fought bigger names a long time ago.
Okay. I mean, and I'm not mad at that. I don't know, man. I just feel like there's a pretty simple path here for Rose. And I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. Bet the over, though. Bet the over the fucking Rose finish. Tracy's not finishing this fight. You can take that shit to the bank. One thing we know for sure, Tracy will not finish this fucking fight. That's not even a question. So if you're on Tracy, take the sub prop because that's her only fucking path. Anybody disagree with that? Ha!
No, not
I got,
really.
I got all you motherfuckers on that one. I'm
I
just
think if anybody finishes the fight, it's Rose.
100%. Tracy has no finishing upside to her game.
I mean, what happened? I haven't even been on social media. What happened to Macy Barber? I seen that Cortez was taking over the spot, but I didn't see like did they ever say like was she hurt? Did she?
I don't even know. I just assume it's the
Undisclosed
ACL.
injury.
I just assume it's the ACL.
Holy shit, that would be a bummer.
Well, that's what she's got a problem with it. It's, you know what I mean? She's got knee issues, so I assume it's that.
Yeah, it would
Uh,
just suck for her because that's shit. She's been what on a I don't even know how many fights she's won her own, but I know she's on the up.
so I'd like to throw this one out there real quick. We covered Cannonier, we covered Tuivasa. Chandler's open to fighting Holloway. Looks like Holloway's fighting Elia. We already talked about that. Yoel Romero is interested in BKFC. Connor seems to be interested in getting him over there. There's that. I'm not going to put too much into that. And then Dana White is hinting at an Amanda Nunes return. Fucking Amanda Nunes return. The UFC should buy Invicta and just move the fuck on. They should just buy Invicta and fucking roll on. Fucking be done with it, for Christ's sake. Like, this shit is ridiculous. I would say Invicta has a better roster than the women's UFC. Maybe not at the top end. Maybe not if you're going to cherry pick the top 3 or 2 out of each division. Maybe not. Maybe even the top 4. But I think depth-wise, I think there's a lot of Invicta fighters that could beat a lot of UFC top 15 fighters. Cade.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you guys up, but I was gonna say, I really want Amanda Nunes to come back, especially after what Ali said. I want to see that shit.
What
That
Ali say?
he said that the reason Amanda Nunes left American Top Team was because Kayla Harrison used to beat her up.
Huh. Actually, the reason Amanda Nunes left American Top Team is because Amanda Nunes was getting closer to the end of her career, and she said it felt like the vibe was that Kayla Harrison was the new hotness and had the bigger prospective career in front of her, and that she was getting. It wasn't that she was getting all the attention. It seemed like they were prepping her to fight and beat Amanda Nunes one day. And that's why Amanda pulled out of
You
that
could
fight.
actually look up, just so in case, like after this, you want to go watch it. I believe it was the interview with John Morgan, and he posted the clips on his Instagram.
Where she said what I'm talking about?
No, it was what Ali was telling him. He was
Oh, I
talking a
got
bunch
you.
of shit.
Yeah, did you see that Ali forgot that he was on his account and not Khabib's account today and commented on Connor's post, "I'll smack you when I see you"?
No, I did not. That's
No,
funny.
I'll spit in your face is what it was.
Is that what it was? I'll spit in your face when I see
So
you.
he meant to probably be on Habib's account.
Fuck yeah, he did. Or Islam's or some shit. He meant to be on one of their accounts. He fucked up.
And also, I ain't believing anything fucking Ali says because he's just as much of a promoter as he is a manager, and he wants to make Kayla look the best as possible as he can and push that fight for Nunes versus Kayla. But I will say, man, like 2 weeks ago, I was literally sitting around and thinking, I miss me some Amanda Nunes. Like I miss her.
I'm sorry, we don't even have to go off the rail with this one, but Amanda Nunes or Kayla Harrison can't fuck with Amanda Nunes. I'm telling you that right now. I
We're
would
gonna
put all
see.
my money on that shit.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if she comes back looking GSP'd all fat and
All right, well, I'll wait
fucking
till the
floppy
weigh-ins. But if I'm,
shit. What did Tupac say? Looking like Larry Holmes,
oh
flapping his
my
dick.
god,
Like, don't fuck around.
oh hell no.
All right, that's the space. Unless somebody's got a topic, I got my closer. UFC roster. It's not UFC. UFC roster watch. I think is just stealing information from the roster tracker, which is at roster tracker, if I'm not mistaken. So roster tracker posted a stat that we all know, but this absolutely solidifies that I felt like this would be worth a little conversation. Fact: 1,690 of 1,868 former UFC fighters ended their run with a loss. That's 90% of UFC fighters exit the UFC on a loss. We knew it was bad. I knew it was bad. I I did not think it was 90 fucking percent. Like, that shit is sister fucking matic. Like, oh, who is it? Ask Dana who can beat that guy. Tony wants to leave. Who can beat him? Mike wants to leave. Who can beat him? Jimmy wants to leave. Dana, who can beat Jimmy? Like, who the fuck? What I want to know is who is the guy that scouts the final opponent? Is it Dana? And if so, how do I get his picks? That's I swear to God, I swear to God, if you are on your last fight on your contract, I am fading you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's their Magnum Madoff. If you are on the last fight of your fucking contract, I'm going to hit at a 90% clip that your ass is about to fucking lose. I can't even. Yeah, what the fuck? I laughed so hard. I thought that was the greatest shit ever. Yeah, I'm sure everybody can think of 100 instances of them trying to make fighters go out on losses. Nate Diaz, fucking Tony Ferguson for the past 7 fights. Ah, fuck, man. They handed one to Robbie Lawler. They liked him. I don't know. I guess that's all I got, boys. Eddie Law jumps on the mic right as we're closing it out, man. I've been trying to tune in. I got a lot going on, but I been trying to put you up on YouTube during the cards on the screen that's off to the right here. So whenever I'm sitting down in my chair, I hear you along with the card, man. Not bad, bro. Not bad. I
I
feel for you
appreciate it.
talking to yourself, though.
You know what? I got kids, bro. That's what I do every day, all day, anyway. Talk to myself. You know, little
Yeah.
motherfuckers running around not hearing shit anyway. So it's all good. Now I want to jump on and say what's up to you boys. I knew you guys were probably almost done. But did you guys? I don't know if you guys noticed, or if you guys got any heads up on this. They're having 17 people or 17 fighters at media day tomorrow, including Paige Van Zandt, who's going to be participating in Power Slap. I don't know if this weekend or later on, but it's 17 for media day, and then Thursday's the presser, and I think the Hall of Fame as well, or one of those. It's going to be a nutty fight week. But dude,
Oh
17
yeah.
fighters for media day is so crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's because International Fight Week. They flew in. All the fighters for the meet and greets and shit. They've probably got 100 fighters in town total, somewhere near that, the UFC. I usually go. We skipped because it was a Connor card. And I'll be honest, my buddy was here the other day and I looked at him and we talked about it for a minute and we're like, damn, we're pissed because we really wanted to be there if they were going to do Power Slap. Like if they were going to add that and we wanted to get that done and shit. So we were a little bummed when they announced Power Slap, but having paid Conor McGregor money, and I love AP, but if I paid Conor McGregor money to see AP fight Jiří, man, I'd be
Bro,
a happy motherfucker,
I,
bro.
hey, take this like as you will. I personally know 4 media members that canceled their coverage this week because Connor fell out. And you can imagine the fans that paid thousands to see Connor what they did. You know what I mean? It's a wild week. Like Dana's is still gonna be like, oh, the numbers were great, crazy, crazy gate and all this shit, and nobody got refunds or nobody asked for refunds. We all know that's horse shit. But it I don't know. This Connor falling out has just created such a huge I don't know
So
mess for the
here,
UFC.
here's why. Here's why nobody asks for refunds, though. I'll tell you why. That by the masses, people don't ask for refunds. Because by the time this shit goes down, people have booked entire trips out to Vegas. They've bought tickets for shows they probably can't get refunds on. I'll be honest, bro. I fly to Vegas. When we come to fight week, when we book it, we're so sure that we're coming. Like the UFC could cancel the card. We're still coming to Vegas. Like I swear to God, that's how it's gonna be, right? So we don't buy any flight insurance. We don't buy the hotel. We pay the $120 cheaper for the few nights, or the $150 cheaper for the the non-refundable shit. And we're not being cheap. We're just like, why the fuck would we pay out between flight insurance and all this other shit? We're gonna pay out $200-300 a piece in insurance when we're going no matter what. So a lot of people took time off work, put money away, pull money out of savings, uh, found sitters, did whatever they had to do. By the time they told them the fight's off, you're committed. And here's the biggest problem: if you have a Fight Club membership and you bought your tickets, there's no fucking guarantee that you're going to get good tickets again. If you bought your tickets through any pre-sale, the chances are you're not getting as good a tickets as you did, because when they reshuffle them, it's going to be a smaller pool, and then your trip's completely fucked. So no one wants to risk it. So, And then if you bought your tickets, like if people who have Fight Club will buy up to 8 tickets, then you jump over to the other websites and you mark them up. You know, if you're taking 2, you try to mark them each up like 15 or 20% so that your 2 tickets are free, right? Well, here's the secret. And this is why I think it was Ticket Hub and Vivid Seats. I got a check from Vivid Seats for this for like $800 because this is how they used to do it. If there was a middle party, and this is how it still goes with a lot of these guys. So if I buy the tickets from the UFC, I post them on StubHub, and you buy them from me. When you ask for your refund is going to be based on the premise that I'm not able to deliver the tickets that were promised. But StubHub's stance is going to be you did not buy Conor McGregor tickets. You bought seats 1 through 5, section 23, row whatever, for July whatever, June 29th, 2024. And he can deliver those tickets to you. So here are your tickets, and you do not get a refund. And that is the policy of business. So it's like halfway fucking impossible to get a refund. And even if you do, you probably can't get tickets to the fight for a trip you booked anyways. Dana White going on there saying nobody asked for a refund. Yeah, no shit. No fucking shit. People started booking their trips 4 months ago, and 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks before the fight, you're like, oh, it's off. We can give you refunds, guys. Get the fuck out of here. I love Dana, but he's a fucking asshole for that. There's no way around that shit.
Hey,
And I
all good
remember
points on
that.
that. I hadn't even thought about that. That's good. That's all good points, bro.
Listen, what was it? Was it the John Jones fight where he came in the presser and said, and nobody refunded their tickets? Like nobody. Was it the John Jones fight where Aspinall stepped in? Is that the one?
I believe so. I believe it was.
Fucking ridiculous, dude. Anyways, I babbled on for an extra 5 minutes there. That's all I got, boys. CapMMA.com. CapMMA.com. Next week, there's not a fight card to preview. So the space will be short, and then we're going to break off and, I don't know, do a little planning as a team. Follow Eddie Law. He is Cage Side Press. Everybody here probably already does. But our views on YouTube have been picking up. So, hey, give Eddie a follow. And if you need a fight companion, he does a pretty good one over there on YouTube. I've been tuning in. Usman, get after it, bud.
Hey, fuckers, since we're all still here, can we get an over parlay or nah? We almost hit the last time we did this. Give me an over parlay.
What, the overs parlay?
Yeah, give us an overs parlay, man. Come on.
All right. So if we're going on the overs,
Arlovski Buday, right?
yeah, for sure. Wait. Simón Oliveira is for sure going over.
All right.
I don't see no problem
Talbott
with that.
versus Ghemmouri.
Wait, are we getting the over under 1.5 or 2.5 on the Arlovski fight?
That's 2.5.
Man, I think you should take the alternative on that one and look for the 1.5. Gillian Robertson, Michelle Waterson.
That's 3.
I don't know, bros. I think Jilly can get the fucking sub, so that's hard for me.
Silva and
Talbot
Jourdain.
versus Ghemmouri.
Talbot and
Yeah,
Ghemmouri.
you think that one's going over 1.5?
Hell yeah.
All right. Oh, Chiasson Bueno Silva, bro. That's an over. That's an over for sure. And then I would say probably, God damn, there's not a lot of safe unders or overs on this card. I hadn't even really paid attention to that. So you got to take Simón. You got to take that fight on the over. You got to take, God, if you take the 1.5 on the Arlovski fight, that's going to be fucking safe. And the over 1.5 on the Robertson fight, even though they're probably not great odds, that's going to be super safe. But she could finish Waterson in the late rounds, in my opinion. I don't know enough about that Talbott fight. I can't dispute it. I think the over on the Jourdain Silva fight is pretty fucking safe. And I am very surprised that it is minus 220 for Michael Page and Ian Garry to go over 2.5 rounds in a 3-round fight. And I feel like that's got to be because of Michael Page. I feel like it has to be because of Michael Page.
Garry doesn't finish much either, though.
Fair. Yeah, I would probably take the Ian Garry, the Macy Chiasson fight, Ian Garry, Macy Chiasson, Ricky Simón, and then take the alternatives on the Arlovski and the Waterson fight. And I bet that hits. I should go play that right now. That's a good parlay.
So I'm locking in right now. Just a second. So what I got here is this is all minus money on the goes the distance that hits the over at 72% right now. That's over 2.5 on all of these. Waterson, Lofsky, Bueno Silva, Charles Jourdain, and Ian Garry fight plus 875.
Yeah, what do you get if you take the Lasky fight off of it? Because you can't get the alt yet. I know you can't get it yet. What do you get if you take it off?
Plus 520.
That's a better bet, bro. I love Lasky, and I got him picked by decision for sure. But if Buday can finish that fight, it's going to be a late fucking KO because Arlovski Gaskin gets his nose broke and can't see and can't fucking breathe. And Buday's just tall with big hands. So if I was looking at overs, I'm only taking that one on the altar. I'm skipping it. I think 5 plus 5 something is a nice parlay on them other ones.
So that's the 4 leg. I'll be playing with all of these picks. But if you add in the Lofsky, you add in the Simone fight, and then you add in the Payton Talbot fight, you're looking at plus 1,722.
Oh, bro, you should have the fucking Simone fight on there no matter what. That fight's going the distance, bro.
So the only reason why I didn't put it on there is because the goes the distance is at plus 120. Was just playing with those first, and then like I said, I'll be playing with all these. I always go over on the first 4 fights. The only one that doesn't fit the strat is the Hernandez and Ray Tsuruya fight, but the Gadzia fight last week wasn't supposed to go over, and it did anyway. So I'll do that as well.
Man, that what? Where's the? Is it that Ray Savoya fight or however you say that last name properly? Um, that fight's probably not going over, bro. He's gonna finish Carlos Hernandez.
Set it 2.5. So I mean, I get it. I
He's
might
gonna
just
finish that, bro.
since I do a parlay with the first 4 fights, I might just take the Ray money line at minus 465 and the rest of the overs, and just let that
I got
cash.
the over on that one.
Bro, you don't think he finishes Carlos Hernandez?
It's. I think it is. It is a possibility, but no, I don't.
Okay.
I think he just dominates the grappling for all 15 minutes.
Okay. I mean, that is a good path for him. I feel like he can find the finish on Carlos Hernandez. We've seen Hernandez get subbed, and we've seen him get fucking knocked out. Was it his last knockout, Tatsuro Taira? Didn't he get knocked out by fucking Taira?
Hey man, do not discount that right hand of Tyra, man.
He knew what I meant by that shit immediately. Oh, that's a good place to end the space. CapMMA.com. Check out CagesidePress.com, man. It's a good site. We load it up over at CapMMA.com and give you links to go over there. So you could just come to us first, and we'll give you links to go over and see Eddie. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Co-host, Dead Picks. Thank you for the stream every week, man. All you guys are all regulars. We appreciate every one of you. Mike, thanks for getting in here, bro. You're kind of new to the crew, so I appreciate you making this work. I know your schedule changed. I don't know if you changed it or if it just changed on its own. But I appreciate you making the whole space and being here, bro. It means a lot. And I'm going to post some darts over on the site to see if I can get you to look at it and be like,